What? Hello, welcome to F Art. We're here for art.
We're off to a great start. So Marsh just told me how much more her audience hates me than I thought. Bill. Look, first, are we? Did we start? There's still the time or whatever. Hey, Bill Sue,
Uh,
you're here like always, my one and only supporter. I love the fact that I've been doing Instagram comics for years. And some posts, they get really good. Even on like other pages, get over like 10,000 likes or something. It's a good amount of likes, huh, for self-made content. And I love that after all these years of slaving, making comics every week, I am proud to say that oh god, it's only
You're
you,
so
Bill
tired.
Sue. Yeah, I really appreciate it, but it makes me think, like, did I go wrong? What happened? But no, nobody else cares to show up. And then that conversation spiraled into us talking about Marsh's audience, because I used to stream with Marsh on her stream. I was just her co-host, like a cuck or something.
Uh-huh.
And we were just chilling together, and then one day, I found out her audience hates me, and I'm like, oh, why? And then she's like, oh, it's because they think you're bullying me. I'm like, okay, fair assumption, whatever. And now it turns out there's a plethora of other reasons why they dislike me. And I'm like, oh, is that just how do you do? Fine, how do you do? I get to sit here and listen to all the reasons why
You knew
I,
them back then too, because this
oh
isn't like
god,
the first time people have come up to you with these
I hate
comments.
your
You
audience
just
even more
remember
now.
it so like it's so focusedly. Because to me,
Yeah,
this isn't any big hoot or holler because my friends never get along with each other. Like, I'm friends with assholes, and other assholes have, like,
yeah,
assholes have criteria as to what's too asshole or not asshole enough or whatever. And so, since
yeah.
everyone has their own ideas, it's like
But
and no
I'm the
asshole likes each
I
other. Like you don't like the other asshole. I like that's so. Isn't that? And but you guys do the exact same
but
things.
I'm the best. I'm like one of the top three at
Oh, and
least,
because he
if
once
not
again decides to put dirty laundry on our stream, I'm gonna
if
preface
not
that the
top
reason
one.
the
I am
reason why we're streaming here is because this one has a loose tongue. He even if he tries his best, he can't control himself.
look, some things need to be said,
They don't need to
and
be said live. We're accountability is here.
the people deserve the truth.
They don't need.
Look, for example, your audience is a bunch of losers who like whining about stuff. Okay? Hey,
Oh, you
people
mean the
who
same
definitely
stuff you
aren't
like
listening to
whining
stream.
about to other people as well?
Well, look,
It's
the
so
difference
different.
is no, there is a difference, which is
Uh-huh.
that I am much more
That
tolerable,
that
you
I
know.
didn't ask you and I asked just found other things. Is
Look,
that the difference?
the difference is I was here first. It's
Oh,
like
okay. I see.
when you have like a disease, you don't want a
Right.
second one. You already got your hands full with the first one. you know, there's the second one is unnecessary, and your friends. Oh, sorry, not friends. Your co-streamers. I'm not even gonna call them co-stream. Your diminutive
Why did
minions.
you even get into this on stream? This is why I don't let you on my
No,
streams. It's
no,
because
we're, we're getting into this now. All right, fine. Different topic then. It's just because I walked around outside today because I had errands to run, and I saw people and it triggered my people.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know how some people only go out when they have the time, you
Well,
know?
okay, so you know what? People who are supporting me, who wouldn't talk
Yeah,
in chat from our side, would
yeah.
comment on the people I'm meeting and give me the rundown on their opinions on people. And there's a lot of people who don't like the people I was hanging out with. Did you know that? That it's the same both ways. And you're hyper
Well,
focusing on
yeah.
this.
Everyone hates one another. I know. I don't like I didn't not like them first. I mean, they
Okay.
started this
No,
whole
you hated them
debacle.
first as well. No, you can't say that.
All right, maybe I hated them a little bit. I didn't hate them that much.
Uh-huh.
You know, the thing I hated the most was that I had to share my co-hosting with random people. You know, and then what I hated was that they hated me just because I hated them. Hell's wrong with that?
Uh-huh.
uh, Fine. I guess you have a point. Oh, look, it's Shutting Kitten, my other one supporter.
Hello.
Yes. Yay.
Oh, hey, so
Thanks
that
for.
means oh, you have two now. Doesn't
Yep.
that make you feel better, you salty
Yeah.
bitch?
How many do you have, huh? 0? That's what I think.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if your other did you even tell your own fan people that you're streaming
Yeah,
on
I
YouTube?
retweet every tweet, you dingleberry. It's not like I'm
Right.
ashamed of you. It's just you can't keep your mouth shut, so I'm cornering you to leave too, you fucking.
All right, let's go over this. What is something? Give me an example. I unlike your co-host, I
Uh-huh.
always like to better myself and to improve
Uh-huh.
upon the person I am because
Uh-huh.
I'm not a slimy dirty worm. Anyways,
Uh-huh.
which you,
Do you see
which you
why
just
people misunderstand you?
what? I was being pretty clear about what I was saying.
Yeah,
Why
because
don't
like even then in the
you?
beginning, you were like talking about how people have parasocial relationships, and like anyone you picked up off the side of the road decided to co-host with is probably bad. Like
Yeah,
that was before any of this.
yeah, exactly. See, I did it while we were offline. You see, I do have some courtesy. All right, no, come on, tell me what is so controversial that would make people dislike
Oh,
me? And you guys
maybe
in
you
the
doing
chat, like, go
exactly
right ahead.
this, but on my stream, sowing
Oh,
seeds of
right.
discord. And also, wait, I can't even quote you what you said last stream. You called me a thing that we shouldn't ever say on
What
stream.
was it? Something like trash gremlins?
No, you idiot. It's okay. I'm gonna type it to you again, just for
Sure,
memory's
sure, sure.
sake.
Wait, but were you offended by it?
Just not to. You remember you agreed with me that we should play by the fucking rules because this is a platform that we're allowed to stream on.
All right.
You
Did I say that?
yes, you said that, you dumbass. See,
Oh, I didn't say that word. I'm pretty
no,
sure
you
I said
did.
the
You
different
did.
word.
You said that. And if it wasn't
Oh,
that, it
well.
sounded exactly like that on my side. I was like, ah ha ha ha. Ha, ha.
Look, but I mean, it's
Look,
not true. It's unfounded. It's fine.
you,
All
and then
right,
you
fine.
even agreed that
Fine.
there's some
Okay,
things we have to
look.
play by the rules because we're
You're
small.
right. That one may have been a little borderline. But I defy you to give me another example.
Well, you don't stray away from the topics I would like to avoid for mine. Like I don't if I'm not allowing people in my chat to talk like this, I can allow you to talk like this.
Yeah, but no, look, that's the beauty of being co-hosts on a shared
Nah,
YouTube
I'm
channel.
afraid nah, not on my
We
channel.
we have we have beautiful equal power.
Yeah, I know. I kicked for less. You lasted longer
Oh
than the
boy.
others.
Look. All right, fine. I can agree with that. But I mean, that doesn't inherently make people dislike me. That's just controversial topics
Oh,
that
I thought you were
won't
just
shy
talking
away
about
from.
me. No, that's my
No,
reasons
no,
why
no,
you're not on
no.
my stream.
I don't care about your opinion. Don't be
Okay,
silly.
what are you asking about?
Well, like what is it about me where
Well,
people will?
why bother fixating it? Why do you not like the people that you've told me you don't like?
Well,
Like a lot of them, it's stuff that I don't even care about. The people, some of them that you didn't like, I still hung out with afterwards because it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
you
sure,
traitor.
you can have that opinion, and it's perfectly valid. People don't have to like each
Uh,
other.
I
I
got
since
you.
grade
You like
school, my
you
friends
like
never
being
liked each
healthy.
other. This is like second
Oh
nature
god.
to me. It should, why is this such a big deal? Just
No,
you
no, no. I
knowing
what
that
what
maybe
I'm
some people don't like you
look,
is
look, look.
causing you to spiral out of control.
I just want to know if I'm coming across the wrong way, you know? Because like
You
I
knew
you
that
know
before
me.
I started streaming.
Well, I just want like it's maybe I can correct the behavior if I'm coming off wrong.
Even through
It's
OS,
like I mean I am a nice
you knew this.
person. I don't intend
This
to
isn't
make you
new.
feel terrible. So go ahead. Just let me know what is the what's the well just condense it. What's the number one thing that puts people off if they never met me before? Do you think?
Uh, like there's a lot of like I will joke about not liking this or offstandishness. It looks like you're so high on your horse and you're making a
Yeah.
joke, but it doesn't sound like it, even though you're just joking around, and
So my
people take it the
sarcasm is not
wrong
overt
way.
enough,
Or even when you're stating
right?
opinions too. Like
Well, I don't
you'll
state
say something
opinions. I
like
state
it's
facts
okay to be
only.
racist to not give any context to it. And
Okay.
no one knows what you're
Yeah.
talking about because of course no the people misunderstand all the time, and there's people who will actually say that and mean it in the way that you didn't want to intend at all.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying is not
Oh, and then of
including.
course you went over the
Yeah.
the German
The
stories.
German torture stories? They're children's
Look,
stories.
I
God,
don't
they're children's
care.
stories.
I
They're
don't
being
need
read to
this.
children. When I was a wee German child,
Yeah,
they
I'm
read
so
the same
happy for
stories to
you.
me. They were like, "Hello, don't do this, or you will, insert racism." And
Insert racism.
it's like that's what I grew up with.
Hmm.
It's not overtly
Well, here,
racist.
I will say this that it seems
I mean,
like
the people in the store were punished for being racist. So if you disagree with the
yeah,
story, that means you're a
uh,
racist.
well, I will
See, that's a
say
joke.
that
Hold
there's
on,
a
now I have to qualify this. That's a joke. You
that's
see,
what the internet is. If you remember,
that's
you have to play the
it,
game. You even said this before that oh yeah, I guess I do have to play the game for the
I don't like
internet.
playing games.
Yeah, okay, this is why we're here. I knew eventually you'd change your mind, even though you came to me so politely, like, okay, yeah, I understand we can't say these things on the stream. I'll try and be better. I'm like sitting
Yeah.
there, oh, I know he's sincere, but damn, this is gonna go south.
Well, there's just so much rage in my heart.
Yeah, I can
Also, do you like
tell.
this? Man, this
Yes,
is so
good
nice.
job. Good job with
There's
your
so much
study.
swish. Yeah, so much swish in here. See, but I don't understand where the swish comes from. All I know is this is swish, and this is swishy.
Or you
There's actually
described it.
more
Okay,
swishy.
you forgetful rabbit. Let's. You remember where the swish comes from? Remember when you were doing hands a long time ago and you tried to make lines
Yeah.
the opposite that they are? That's what the swish comes from.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah, this line's this way and this line's that way.
There you go.
Wow, and the Marsh, you're so
I
smart.
hate everything as
You're
much as you do right
smart,
now.
Marsh.
Oh, we're equal.
Marsh. All
Do
right.
you
Hold
enjoy?
on. Before I yell about more stuff that I'm
Uh
racist about,
huh.
by the way, that's also a joke.
Uh huh.
Internet. I'm going to go close the door so my roommates don't hear about all the stuff I'm racist about. So, can only offend one group at a time.
Yeah.
you know.
Let's
Uh,
control it.
hold on. Let me. Just give me a second. All right. Oh gosh. Yeah, Bill Sue. Nobody can stop my
Yeah,
degeneracy.
if you had rampant fans right now, they'd come to my stream and start like flinging insults any which way
Oh
whatsoever
my
because
god.
that's
Can
what
you
people
imagine? That
would
would be
do.
so fun. I would
Yeah,
love
great.
that. I mean, that's only partially a joke because I do hate those people's guts. So, if somebody flung poo poo at them, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, great.
Oh,
And then you just stick out as the person who uses their power
we
toxically.
we all knew that I was going to wield my power in a destructive way. That's why I haven't been granted any power by
Uh-huh.
God. It's the age old, like, what you call it? The age old
And no
adage. Yeah,
fear
yeah.
of putting
Don't.
dirty long laundry on. And the stuff that comes out about streamers is always in their infancy.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then this
well.
isn't only just us streaming. Anyone I try to, people check the internet for when they're
Yeah.
hiring. If they look it up and they see, oh, she's constantly collaborating with this person who says really controversial things, is constantly
Oh man.
misunderstood. Oh, she must also agree with these things. And then
See,
they don't
but I
get
mean,
actually.
you're gonna be working for me eventually, so I'm gonna be
Oh,
the one looking it up.
yeah, when
I'll be
you
like,
get enough
she works
focus
with this degenerate.
to get past your mental problems, like I can't get past mine. Yeah, I believe in
uh,
us. Absolutely.
Look, okay, fine, fine. I understand, yada yada. But I mean, I don't see the issue with cancel culture is that okay, look, okay. The issue with big. Let me add more context to this because the internet doesn't understand. Okay,
Yeah,
here
see,
the
this is
issue.
exactly it. Like, you're so lashing out at people. You can't let people just be.
No,
You
I
have to
won't.
insult
I
them in
won't
every
hate on
corner.
this. Yeah, well, I will. These people are the like no. And see, we have the true reason why I only have 2 followers here in stream with me. It's because they are the OGs. They are
Uh huh.
the true people. They know
Uh
what's
huh.
up. They don't look at what I say and go, "Oh, heck must be racist." They look at it and they're like, "Wow, that's a joke." And let me listen in for more context, and then I give more context.
You
I
did
don't
not
jump to
give any
conclusions.
context.
Oh,
You
these
get.
are the OGs, the real mother truckers.
Like, I
You
probably
know?
sounded like this, and they're like, "Wow, she sounds upset. Maybe she's getting bullied. Maybe this was happen. Something like this was happening."
No, no, no. You're not getting bullied. You bully me. Here we go. That's all the context anybody needs. All
We
right.
bully each
Here
other. Let's be
we
real.
bully each other. Yeah, exactly. Whenever it's
Real.
it's what comes with great friendship. Whenever one of us messes up, it's not like, oh, it's okay. It's like, you dumbass. Were you born in a barnyard?
Yeah. Well, guess what? It's never just that, because you have everyone else who's ever been around me also gets that feedback, the exact same feedback as you, which is, oh, that's too much bullying. Because you know what? Assholes have certain regimens as to what constitutes as too much. And since it's all
Yeah.
different, they all get the same feedback. And I thought my friend Heck could handle this kind of feedback just to be aware of his effect on people.
No,
But
no, no,
oh no, I
no.
don't
We're
think he
gonna.
can
We're
handle it. And I'll never say anything again.
Oh, look, Bilson gets it. I tell one joke, I have to give 3 hours of context after. Yeah. I'm like, I don't mean that I hate this minority group. I just mean that I hate.
I hate everybody.
All right. Look, look. I'll be genuine right now. All right. I'll give context. I won't make jokes. I'll give like the real answer. All right. Look at this. Right. So the issue that I don't like with YouTube and streaming and whatever fart is that there's no winning. I guess that's why I don't play the game anymore. Because even if you adhere to all the rules and you act the best way possible and you do all that stuff, it's like getting hit by a truck. You never know when it's going to happen, and you never know how it's going to happen. Like, you could get screwed over by any time by something you couldn't prepare for at all for no reason whatsoever, and it just trivializes like a lot of like the preparedness, I guess, that I used to think of in my head. Because cancel culture is such a huge thing, even now, even when people are aware of how stupid it is. And it's like, oh my god, this guy said this thing in a tweet 16 years ago. We should ruin his career today. He doesn't deserve food. And it's like, come on, it's a joke. And it's usually stuff that doesn't matter. It's like, oh, ha ha ha! This restaurant is run by Asian people. I bet they serve Chinese food. Ha ha ha! And then people will go nuts over that, even if it turns out it was a Chinese food vendor. It doesn't matter.
Well, that
It
exists
doesn't. Huh?
simultaneously to this scenario where you face plant it and then you also put your butt on it and then you watch it. There's
Well, yeah,
degrees. This
I
exists in the
get.
same world
I
where
of course, of course there's degrees, but it just makes it so like people are gonna be mad about anything. And yeah, I agree. I should probably give more context. I mean, I thought I was doing better with that, right? I
you
give a
did after
little.
I told you about it.
Yes, but
Why do you not want to be
look,
told about it? Because then you'll hold a grudge for the rest of your life.
nah, look. I
You
mean,
have to
come on.
know
I'm kidding
before
about
you
that.
can
Here, look.
identify.
I
So I'm
mean,
like, okay,
maybe.
let me tell him
I,
so he can improve.
Here we go. I don't actually hate all of Marsh's, what do you call them, minions that much. I don't. You guys are just
Nice cut,
mild,
and
insignificant thorn in my side that I don't think about ever because it's so unimportant. But it's funny to joke about. I mean, I'm having laughs. That's the fun of being controversial and being over exaggerating about stuff as well is that you get to make these jokes and then it's
uh-oh.
like hee hee hoo hoo. Oh gosh, what's going on your end? Did we wake the waffle? Have we lost Marsh? Oh boy. Uh, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Oh god. Marsh? Hello? Oh boy. Marsh has been kidnapped by the boogeyman. And he's breathing very gently into the microphone. Marsh, what's going on with you? Okay. Thanks for joining, kitten. You have fun. You go to bed and you make sure you wake up early tomorrow so you can do all your stuff and hopefully get some art done. All right. Well, solo stream. Oh, boiling water. Oh, Marsh is boiling alive. Somebody get help. All right. Okay, look. Now that Marsh is gone, I can finally enjoy solo streaming for once. So, this is me solo streaming. Stay tuned for when I actually do it full time. Um, I notice I have a way, way, way smaller desire to be controversial now that Marsh is gone. It's just not as fun when you don't have somebody small and annoyed to piss off. Because it's like that's half the fun is Marsh telling me to stop when I say something bad. That's half the fun for me. So now that Marsh is gone, I guess you could say I don't have any bad influences anymore. So yeah, I love every ethnicity in the world, and it's a shame that other people don't. I mean, it's like crime is such a bad thing, and we should band together as humanity because love is the strongest thing we have. And if we could all just love a little more and hate a little less, maybe this world could be a better place. You know, I just I can't look at Marsh. Look, she's threatening to destroy me with a sledgehammer. Now you all know where the negativity comes from. Look, it's not even a sledgehammer, it's a sledgehammer. And it's like if I could just hug this world's problems away, I would. You know, I mean, it's just like there's so much love to give, in my heart, and it's a shame that I don't get the chance to express it. I mean, I just I I feel like a
You,
giant.
you, you, you.
Oh, Marsha's back. All right. Anyways, I have a personal disagreement with minorities.
Waffles complain that he's listened to this conversation far too many times, and brings it up all the time.
All right. Look. Like I said, right? There's no point in not being controversial or to censor myself. This is the fun I have. Yeah, I could give more context. That yeah, I'll try to do that. But I think people who have an issue with me in the first place won't suddenly not have an issue with me just because I give more context. You know what I mean?
I don't care
Like
about them for that. I care about TOS. I care about
terms of services. Wow,
yeah,
that's
and I
so
care
boring,
about
Marsh.
anything official. Like if If one of us
Yeah.
had a government job, for example, this would also be
Right.
bad. Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
just
give a crap about audience. I'll be aware of it. That's cool and all. But you know what TOS is? Don't be fucking controversial. You know what? It's in the service that we have to digitally sign so you can do your fucking content online on their platform that they made and put money into. Maybe it's TOS.
uh, I guess that's true.
God fuck.
Fine.
You've taken the story and you've warped it on the narrative totally, completely. to
Well, that's
purposely be like,
well.
oh, Marsha's so weak, she got bullied and putting heck off of her stream because she doesn't care about her friends and is just so manipulated by any and all of her fans. Oh yeah,
Look. I'm sorry that I twisted the narrative. You know me. That's just the
yeah.
old
One of the things
reflex.
that's really easy to misunderstand about you. Well, lo
You
and
know, well,
behold.
I'm not gonna deny that I have my evil streak. I mean, we both do. That's why we get along so well, right? Deep down, we have that dark side of us that where we gaslight people, and then we're
uh-huh.
terrible, and we're just evil. You know, we're beyond that. We
Uh-huh.
don't do that. Well, you know, it take what, do you know that Parthenax quote? You know, it's like oh, what's better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort? Well, you know, we were both born good, then became evil, and then overcame our evil. It's like we did both,
Oh,
you
I
know?
feel like I was
So,
born evil.
oh,
like,
you were born evil?
yeah,
I was
because
definitely
if
born
you're
good.
born spoiled, you're kind of just evil to begin with.
Right. I think for me, it is the opposite. I was born like I didn't really um dislike a lot of people, you know, growing up.
Hmm.
I liked everybody, and then I kind of got dislike pushed into me as time went on. You
Oh, I
know, we
was
talked about this.
spoiled, emotional, and entitled, and then I went to. How did that stop? Oh, I think
Didn't
like
you get
the
a
life kind
reality
of
check?
flowed. No, life flowed just naturally because that's what happens. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, I became really self-aware, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's bad.
Oh,
like,
sometimes that happens. What's it? Some therapist on YouTube from, I think they're called Cinema Therapy. It's a great channel, by the way. They were talking about how they used to be a nice guy. You know, nice
yeah,
guys.
sure.
And the way they realized they were a nice guy was like, I think in college they said that they, for the first time, they experienced the opposite. You know, where somebody was hitting on them, and they got that treatment of like, oh, I did this nice thing for you, so I'm therefore entitled to like your affection. You know,
hmm
and it's like I think he said like it felt so terrible, you know, and he was like, oh, this is what I've been doing to other people this entire time, and he felt so bad that he just, that's where he, you know, where he got his reality check. He's just like, boom, no, I'm gonna change to be a better person.
Mm.
See, for all my joshing around, you know, I feel like I put in a lot of genuine care and advice into some of these streams, you know? And it's just like people don't stick around for that if they already hate controversiality. I think it's one of those like I can only ever build a fan base over time. Like Bilsu, my dear lovely Bilsu,
hmm
my cutest little Bilsu. It's like this beautiful little coin in
hmm
this treasure chest, you know? And it's like, oh, it's like I need to fill the treasure chest, but you know, I'm very happy for this one coin because it represents some, it represents that these coins exist, you know, and
hmm
that even though I speak like I do, and I say the things I do, some people will stick around for the free therapy that comes with it, you know. Maybe that's how we should
hmm
advertise: lots of racism and some
Uh-huh.
free therapy.
Yeah, no, but no, that's still independent of all of that. That is a
Of
thing
the
that will
TOS,
happen
yeah,
regardless
I
of all
know
of
the
that. And
TOS.
the some of the words and things you said are like stuff that
Yeah.
used to be soft ban. And I forgot. I need to look up what is you're not supposed to say on YouTube because of the algorithm.
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
then you actually demonetize our stuff and all that.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think one of the things, at
Yeah,
least, especially the one I sent to you, is to be one that every streamer worth their dime fucking
with
cut
their
out of their
salt.
videos.
Yeah. All right, fine. Okay, look, I can acknowledge that. I see. I can be the bigger person. I can grow. You know,
How do you
I
think?
have the capacity to
The
change.
capacity for the
You know,
swell of salt, all the salt in the fucking comics we drew
So-
that you never posted for some reason because now you're conscious of them even though we worked so hard on them.
well, I'm just conscious of my own line quality. You know. Uh, See, for all the crapping I do, I am a very insecure person who can't take it at all.
Oh look,
So
this not only do we wake up the whiff, but he's now posting in chat.
Waffle, waffle, hello, waffle. The Marsh is the preschooler that colored inside the lines, not because she was good at coloring, but she was afraid of getting shot. Oh, borscht.
And you know what? I also got more privileges too.
All right, I do recall you mentioning that. See, why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk
Uh-huh.
about how
You
we?
wanna shift it?
Well,
Yeah.
look, all right, I can be a better person, blah
Uh-huh.
blah blah. I'm superior to your stream like followers, blah blah blah. That's nothing we haven't covered before, right? But what we haven't covered before is you turning evil and me turning evil because those are fun things. And we were terrible, and I don't mean evil as in like, ah, we're so cool, we're evil. I mean like we're toxic little messes that ruin ourselves and then do the best to try and ruin the people around us. So Marsh, go. It's therapy time. Call me Dr. Schmeck.
You know who
Also,
also
4
wanted to do
viewers. That's
therapy
the most
for
viewers you
money?
ever had.
BB.
Huh? Oh yeah, but you know, I'm prettier than BB, so if your therapist isn't attractive, what's the point?
Oh my gosh.
Not to say that BB isn't attractive,
I
and
can't
not to say
wait
that she is.
to see their reaction.
I just mean that I'm the better looking one. Not
Uh-huh.
specifically than BB, just in general. If you put me and someone else next to me, I'm better. Except for my followers, you are all much lovelier than me. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell by the fact that you're following me still after I said that. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah, what exactly is our angle for this?
Oh, I'm just curious. It's like
Are we
what
doing art? Or are we doing like things we had to learn about ourselves to be
well,
better
it's like
humans or
yeah,
whatever?
like
Because I don't think I became evil. I think I was evil to begin with because no one told me how shitty I was, and I just had to
yeah.
find out myself one day.
Well then, if you never turned evil, then why don't you tell me about like? Well, I mean, at some point we both realized that we were kind of messes and toxic towards the
Yeah, because
people we were around, right?
if we're talking about like I think that
Yeah,
was
we are
no
talking
no no.
about. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Marsha needs the streaming money to pay for speech
Uh-huh.
therapy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hmm.
Oh my god, girl. You need me to fill the void. What's
Well,
going
I'm
on
trying
here?
to think about it because 'cause there's the stuff that I really dislike about
Yeah.
just casually being who I am, and that's how uh uh see, we're going back to things
Mhm.
we can't say on stream.
All right. Well, I was guessing that
Because
maybe
you
you were
remember what
sorting
I
through stuff.
disliked the most when I was a kid? Do you remember what that was? Do you know? Do you
I
remember why I
I
don't like certain colors? Do you remember that? Do you
I
really think I should say that on stream?
well, I seem to recall slightly, but you would have to refresh my memory.
Uh-huh.
But okay. Well, it doesn't have to be that, It could just
Yeah,
be
do you
what
know what my other ones are?
Well,
Stuff
it could
I
be like
never told you,
it
and
doesn't have to be that
fucking.
intense. It can be a casual thing. It can be like, oh yeah, I realized I was treating this person badly, you know, right? You don't think so? It doesn't all have to be crazy, right? It could just be like,
Oh,
oh,
you
I was being a
wish.
real okay. Well, hey, why don't you tell the Renaissance fairs?
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. Why don't you like there was never like a conversation you had with a friend or something, and then you're maybe being mean to them, and then you realize halfway, and you're like, oh, no.
Well, yeah, when I said once the person who replied to my doing the portrait of a guy who was deceased, and their
Yeah.
response was angry, and you should never done that. I should have said, "I'm sorry, I'll never do it again." Instead, I said the parents said it was okay.
The
That's
parents,
one. That's one
I have
example.
permission. All
There's
right, that's
one.
fair. I
That
guess
that was
mine,
definitely hubris on my part
yeah.
because
I could,
as soon as
yeah.
I finished the painting, I knew something was wrong. I just couldn't,
The moment you did it,
exactly
you're like,
articulate my
huh.
yeah, I couldn't articulate my feeling, but I was probably feeling that I shouldn't be touching this sacred thing that I know nothing about. Like,
Yeah.
that was obviously
That,
the sensation I had, but
right. Um. Okay. You, yeah, god damn it, girl. With your extreme examples, I was just thinking about like,
well,
huh.
what, have you seen my life? It's, it's
Well,
all
you know,
shit. Oh, you know what I did the other
being,
day? I went
yeah.
into barreling into my parents' empty house because
Uh-huh.
there was a white
Wait,
van parked in
you're
front of
not
it for two
supposed to be
hours.
evil anymore. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I found one. I couldn't
Lovely.
say
Okay, great.
no, and so it was very like manipulatable, and just let
Yeah.
myself be sucked into stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that also leads
See, that's a
into
good
not
one.
being honest with people, not being able to be
There we
straightforward
go.
or like talk
There
to
you found it. There you go.
people.
It
You
didn't
can
all
shut
have
up.
to be world and
No one
evil.
can understand. We talking over each other so much. You're like, oh, Marsh, you should talk over me because I don't know when to shut up. Like, I don't know how to shut up.
I just love that effect of people talking over one another. It's so
Like,
funny.
I can't understand it without subtitles, which no one is going to do anymore because everyone hates subtitles.
Oh well. All right. Look, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
What
You could go ahead and talk.
was I talking about?
Go ahead, Marsh.
What was I talking about?
I said you could talk.
Yeah, about
Why didn't you just
fucking what is
you
it?
could you could you could speak?
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, good. All right. It was you painting a dead person, and then somebody being like, "Huh, well,
Yeah, that was
maybe you
that
shouldn't
was
have
the
done that."
thing I closed.
And oh, right, and then you couldn't say no. That's what it
Oh,
was. You couldn't
oh, oh.
say no. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and and led to all sorts of issues where you were lying to people and stuff like that.
I just wasn't telling them how I actually felt like because you can confuse what you want with what you feel, and that can be
Yeah,
prevalent so long that you can't tell the difference anymore. Because
yeah,
even if you want something to turn out the way that you want it to, then you start thinking that's how you feel instead of it's an internal design.
Do
Like
you have an example?
oh yeah, okay, let's say um my friend likes I don't know, bubblegum ice cream
I love,
and
but actually, I don't.
and
Yeah.
they're bonding over other people with bubblegum ice cream. and
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. No, this is a great example. It's easy to
and
follow.
I
Yeah.
think the logic of a 2-year-old.
It's fine. It's fine. We're all children at heart here.
And then
And
I
condemning their
say,
cruelty.
wow, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try bubblegum ice cream and I'm gonna eat it every other day for the next 2 weeks to condition myself to like bubblegum ice cream. And then someone's like,
Yeah.
do you like bubblegum ice cream? I'm like, yeah, because I'm eating it so often, so I want to like it. But
I
the real
want. Oh
answer
yeah.
is
Okay.
I want this bonding experience that I'm
I want
watching
this
from
approval
afar.
from
That's
the
the real
person. Yeah.
answer. But they're so easy to confuse.
Yeah. It's funny how it turns out like that. We could have just eaten a different flavor and still hung out with them, you know. But
You fucking you silly Billy, you don't have to have bubble gum. Go get the Rocky Road.
it's funny because I think a lot of people. I understand what you mean, but I feel like a lot of people confuse the idea that they have to. Not to say that you're stupid or anything, because
Oh,
it
stupid.
sounds like okay. Well, some people are dum dums like you,
Uh-huh.
and they it's easy to confuse that like to share interests we both have to like it, or to bond we both have to like the same things. No, you can bond just as easily over one person liking something and one person disliking it, because then you can discuss over it. It doesn't always have to be like we're on the same team. For example, I hate you and you don't hate yourself, and
Well,
we
here's
still
a
get
great
along.
example. We
Yeah.
have very different tastes in what to watch and read.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go. You like terrifying stuff that haunts my nightmares, and I like, I don't know, One Piece. You know? And there is this huge divide because you never read One Piece, nor have you seen Avatar, or all the shows that I like, and we still get along. Because
Uh-huh.
it's more relevant than you think. And then sometimes we can argue about stuff like Solo Leveling, because I hate Solo Leveling beyond belief, and Marsh is just okay with it. And the fact that she's okay with it tears me up on the inside. So every time it comes up, we can discuss about it. And it's fun because it's just a lively. It doesn't mean we're gonna stop being friends. It doesn't mean that it's gonna hurt our relationship in any way. It's just we disagree, and it's fine to disagree, and it's fine
Oh,
not to like the same things, right?
there was a person in our community that I had the exact same misconception with. Like when we shared things that we liked and disliked, they said it in such a very strong, bold way that it sounded like that I was like my opinion was invalid and I was
Oh, right.
invalid and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Which is what I always try to imply when I
yeah,
share my
yeah.
opinion. It
And
was just a joke, by the way, internet.
uh-huh.
Meh. Heck said that
Uh-huh.
his opinions invalidate
Uh-huh.
my own. Wah, wah, wah. All right, last one. Go ahead.
You know that you're going to be the next
It's never gonna be the last one. Never.
one. And
Yeah.
what's it? Yeah, because it sounded like they were going, "Oh yeah, this is stupid, and your opinion is stupid," and that's exactly what they said. And so there's no other way to read that. It's
There's no
that's
other way
so
to
bold.
interpret it.
But
Yeah.
the next day, we'll hang out and play games as if nothing had happened. So obviously, actions speak louder than words in this case. Somehow, despite having said this sucks and your opinion sucks, this person still considers me a good person and a friend. So it's a little confusing.
Well,
You
I get
people
it.
who are a little
I mean,
aggressive
don't
with their
don't I tell you
speech
that all the
are
time?
confusing. Yeah, but we found a foundation of understanding a long time ago. Like, despite our
Yeah.
constant bickering, at the end of the day, we kind of know that we're gonna listen to what each other
We
has to say.
care. We love. We're just clouds floating
Uh
through the
huh.
sky
I'm gonna
on a
float you through
sunless
the
breeze.
sky on a plane.
But yeah, that's true. That's a good example
I'm
because
floating
it
you off
demonstrates.
a plane. Which one?
What? That's not that plain one, you dingus. The thing with your unnamed friend from the community.
Uh huh.
Actions do speak louder than words, which is funny because oftentimes it feels like words speak louder than words, or than actions.
Hmm.
Obviously, if words speak louder than words, what are you, heck, stupid? Oh, heck said he's stupid. That must mean he thinks I'm like, all right. It's just I don't even know how you could interpret that wrongly. But yeah, it is true. It's like saying sorry. That's a big thing nowadays, in the sense that it's not a big thing at all. Nobody says sorry. Some people may think I'm quick to saying sorry if like in my personal life, because I don't, if I offend people that I care about, and I didn't mean to. It's important. If I meant to, it's like haha. But if I
Yeah.
didn't,
Oh,
if I
bye,
didn't mean
Bilsu.
to, oh, Bill, so you leaving? Bye bye. Have fun. I don't know what time zone you're in, but have fun. uh, if like where was I? Where was I, you
Oh,
dingus?
actions speak louder
Ah,
than
saying
words.
sorry. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm quick to saying sorry, and some people wonder, they see that as weakness, or like, oh, why you apologize and so on. It doesn't matter to me, because like if I did something wrong and I didn't want to do something wrong, then obviously I'm just gonna apologize. It's not a big thing. It's never a big thing, and then that's the issue. People treat it as like a huge thing, and there's like 50 million ways to dodge out of giving a real apology. One of my favorite ones I hear all the time is like, I'm sorry if you, and it's like, it's not an apology. If you add, if you something feel this way, if I made you feel this way, blah blah blah. It's like, if I made you feel this way, it's fine. But if it's something like, I'm sorry if you feel offended by what I said, that's not an apology. That's just saying, I'm sorry, you're such a dipshit. It's like, an apology has nothing to do with forgiveness. That's something people have to get through their heads. Like, if you apologize for forgiveness, you're not apologizing. You're offering something in exchange for something else. That's economy. That's like a business practice right there.
Business crash.
Business. I
Oh.
give you the words, you give me continuing whatever the fuck we had before, like be it a relationship or friendship or whatever. But a true apology is just admitting that you are guilty, that you did something wrong, and that you regret doing it. I'm sorry, and boom, that's it. That's all you have to do. It doesn't mean you're absolved of guilt. Doesn't mean that you're suddenly a better person, but it means that you can recognize that you did something wrong and that you feel bad about it, which goes to show that at least you can self-reflect. And in the future, you're probably less likely to do it. And somebody who's like, I'm sorry if you feel offended, that's like saying, I'm sorry you, like I said, it's like just pushing the blame on the person who you offended, which is like, sure, which is an easy way to get out of if you think the other person's being ridiculous. But it also means you never considered, like, or you probably didn't consider, their side. That's what I got a lot at university when I was still at university. I had a college professor. Like, I handed in an
You have so
essay.
many shitty
Yeah,
college
oh my
professors.
god, so many. And not just college, but high school and grade school and primary. Like,
Yeah,
every teacher
professors.
besides David and Nicolo. Poor Nicolo, I still haven't contacted him again because I just don't have time to study Latin. But Nicolo and David, they're the real OGs because they're kind, they're nurturing. I'm taking a vacation right now. David said vacation should be vacations, zero homework, stuff like that. They're respectful, treat you with dignity, help you,
Mm-hmm.
support you. That's a real teacher. But like, at university, I had a professor who, he wanted us to write like a proper like university grade essay in our first semester. Not even our first year. No, like our first semester. And he wanted it was like halfway through our first semester, and he wanted it to be all formatted by the university standards. And let me show you the schedule, right? The schedule was something like week 1, introduction, week 5, Beowulf, or something, you know because I did English was going to be my major.
Yeah, but
And
it's
then,
way funnier imagining week 2 we're going to become
well, this is week 5, you dingus.
I can't
There we go.
read.
There we go. So week 1 would be introduction. Week 5 would be Beowulf. So this is where I'm at, where he asked me to write the essay. And you know what week 10 was? Week 10 was essay writing. It's like introduction to essay writing. And guess what? In week 10, that's when they went over formatting. That's when they went over what font you should use, what style you should want. And this is a university that's, let's say, it's up there, right? And it's very hoity-toity about its little, like, if you don't formatted it correctly, it's not good. Even though it doesn't matter what format you have when you present something. If I give you the freaking cure for cancer on a receipt and I scribbled it down, I bet you nobody's going to be like, ah, it's not formatted properly, and I'm not gonna accept this. I could hand you liquid gold in a bowl, and these people would be like, ah, it's not formatted correctly. I don't want it. You know, that's what they were like. And anyway, this professor was like, he was on my case. He was like, you put zero effort into this. You put zero commitment into this. This is garbage. I can see that you didn't listen at all during. It's like notes like that, like passive aggressive little notes like that in the comments, you know. And
Mhm.
ba- based on the personality I've presented so
Uh-huh.
far, I don't take that. I ain't no punk, you know. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to somebody insult me like that and
I
being
like
like telling me I
how
put.
punk is the opposite of us standing up to authority in your dialogue.
Well, look. The point is that I don't take that, because I ain't no little baby boy who's just gonna like everybody else in my class. They tuck their little wieners between their legs. They're like, man, this teacher was really mean to me. What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna sit here and use these two little fingers. I'm gonna go and jerk myself off. It's like, come on, you pathetic little piece of trash. You don't know. I went straight to him and I told him I had an issue with like I was like, I put effort into this. I worked really hard for this. I did my research. I even emailed the guy. He told me I was below the word count. A week earlier, I had messaged him being like, "Hey, is the word count with the bibliography or without?" And he was like, "It's with the bibliography and everything." And then when it came to grading the essay, he was like, excuse me, you're 200 words short. I'm like, that is the bibliography and the quotes, those little footnotes you have to put in. And he's like, no, that's not okay. And I was just like, okay, dumbass, how about we have a man-to-man discussion about this? And then we did. And the only thing he could keep whipping out is like, I'm sorry you feel this way. I'm sorry you did this, and like, I'm not gonna change my grading system just because one student has an issue with it. Everybody has an issue with it, you conceited twat. I'm just the only one who has man enough to stand up to you. And then he just went to like, well, if you still have issues with it, why don't you go to the head of the department? And I was going to, and then another university student, like, I didn't know this guy, but I posted into the like freaking group chat, with like all the university students. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the head of the department. This guy is being ridiculous. And then some other guy emailed me, and you won't believe this guy, Marsh. His name was Barney. It's the big purple dinosaur knocking on my door, trying to give me a piece of his mind. He was knocking and he was like, I don't think you should go to the head of the department. I got the exact same comments as you did. And I think you should just calm down. Like, it's the first semester. It's like, it's is dignity, and self-respect something you only gain in the third year of university? When are you going to stop people from walking all over you little piece of trash,
Like,
huh?
I remember that you sent me the conversation. You didn't explain why. Like,
Oh no, look, I was.
if you told him
Yeah,
what you said right now, because when I read it, I actually thought you were the one that was like, I had to ask you which one is you, because I
yeah.
knew that response was important, and I couldn't tell which one was you because it sounded like you were wrong because none of these details were in the conversation, and you were
Look,
just
look.
angry at him.
I can acknowledge that, right? But I also can acknowledge that I got off of like a screaming match with some old cunt like 20 minutes before this, So I was peeved off. So, you're right. I could have presented my points better. But that Barney cunt could have minded his own damn business. It's like, I think we should all just be doormats to these people because in British culture, when a teacher wants to spank your butt and take you into the closet, you just let him. And also when he spits on you and calls you trash, we just that's just school. If you can't accept it, you should go. And I left. And I quit university because I'm not gonna accept this. And I had like, this was my second argument with the professor in the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had an argument with a completely different old cunt
Well, you know
like
what's
just
funny? You didn't even tell me this when you explained to me the situation. All you said was this guy was really passive aggressive, and that's all you said. You didn't even say that he misled you and changed his grading last minute, and didn't even tell you like that the
well,
advice he
here we
gave you
go.
was
This is
wrong.
my power of context that I
Yeah,
have gained.
great. Yeah, I'm so happy that years later I didn't get the whole story instead of thinking like the other person that you were overreacting. You wanted
No.
to take legal action against, and I couldn't see why because you didn't tell me because you missed context.
Well, now you know. That guy
Jesus
was just a
fucking Christ!
big, big fat wiener, and it's like, look, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's say I did misinterpret his misleading
Oh,
email,
the only person who gets the benefit of the doubt is actually the person in the chat because we have people who completely just get angry at professors. Like that's a common thing too, where students just don't
Yeah,
accept that they suck at something and should work
yeah,
to improve themselves, and they get mad at the teacher instead. Like that's a
and
common thing. Maybe if they knew what a horrible thing happened, maybe they would have been on your
maybe.
side.
Sure, sure, sure. But like I said, hindsight's 2020. Because I've the rage that it blinds me. Also, I don't like getting genuinely angry at a lot of stuff
Yeah, yeah,
because I
sure.
know the rage blinds me
Uh-huh.
to a lot of stuff. But look, the point is that let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's give the professor the benefit of the doubt, and assume that I did misinterpret his misleading email. Even if that were the case, which it isn't. You know, you're still trying to penalize me on writing an essay wrong in week 5 when over a month later is when you teach how to write an essay? Hmm? Are you mentally did you not read the course? Hmm? The course that you were a part of? Hmm? The course that you were a teacher in? You didn't read it? You're penalizing first semester students on the thing that you learn at the end of the semester. That guy, I hope he dies. Like, I don't hope a lot of people die genuinely, but he's a bad teacher. He's a bad person. He spends like 6 years of his life writing one book on how Beowulf is a great read, and it's like your life is worthless, and I hope that when he dies, it's that Henry David Thoreau quote. I came to the woods to live with purpose or something, and not to that when it came to die, discovered that it had not yet lived. You
Hmm,
know, that quote is pretty famous,
sure.
right? How it's like, oh, you should live your life to the fullest. I hope that when he dies, he um he does not go gentle into that good night, and he realizes what a big cunt he was, and how much of a douchebag he was, and how he essentially wasted his entire life twiddling his little fingers over some ancient book writer who was 10 times better and more successful than he'll ever be. And then I also hope he rots in hell and gets a stroke in hell and goes to mega hell.
You know what's funny? Wishing people go to hell is a lot better than wishing that they were dead. And also
Oh
wishing
yeah.
people should slew or slide. Which is also things we
Oh
shouldn't say on stream.
well, sorry, I forgot about that in my
Uh
rage. All right, look, I take it back. No, live. Get the help you
huh.
need. Because what's worse than ending your life? Wait, okay.
Being tortured
People
forever
who
with skin conditions?
no, look, if I say that it's worse to go to therapy, I feel like that's encouraging suicide. Um, um, yeah,
That
I
hits your radar.
look,
We're doomed. We're just doomed.
let's see. How do I? No, 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 no. I can. You know me. Despite me not quitting my English course, I'm still a master of language, right? English is my second language. You mother truckers, yeah, and I speak it like this. Yeah, be jealous. Anyways,
Uh huh.
um, how do I twist this into something that's both encouraging to people to go to therapy and an insult to the guy?
This just this just increases your writing power in the end. It's
Yeah, yes, it increases my powers of finagling and twisting words. Okay, let's see, this is so difficult because it's like a double negative. You can't do both.
Well, I believe in your bullshittery.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I hope that he goes to therapy and he doesn't kill himself because
Uh-huh.
killing yourself is
Uh-huh.
bad, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I hope that he has a therapist who is subpar and ruins his entire life, and then he has to live with the knowledge that he is a bad person without ever getting the help he needs. And I hope everyone else I hope you all get a good therapist. You know,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
somebody who can support
I'll
you.
just give you.
Except for that guy, he can, rot in hell. I hope whatever religion he believes in, the God is very angry with him. There you go. That's fine, right?
You know, oddly enough, it's not setting off any bells. See,
Uh,
this is why I think I might have to die on the hill of dark humor because that's how I am.
yeah,
But it's funny when violence and such is better received than some
dark humor.
particular things.
Oh, and that's just harkens back to cancel culture. It's so cute. It's a culture.
Mm-hmm. And it just
It
makes its
doesn't.
way into TOS.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because TOS bends to mob mentality, which is the most ridiculous thing. Like YouTube will amend their terms of service, to be more in line with like what is currently offensive and what is not. It's just like it's stupid. There's no real rules for this. Like in terms of people, yeah, I'm gonna say what I want because it doesn't matter. You're gonna offend people anyways. I'm gonna offend people anyways. But in terms of TOS, I can understand because that's more like, oh, the corporate overlord is breathing down your neck, and if you speak in this manner, it's not that you'll piss off somebody; it's that you will have no food for the month and you will starve. you know, it's like getting fired. I guess is the equivalent, right?
uh, Getting your pay, like one of your paychecks removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and not to say that like people shouldn't get banned or fired for what they say, because some people absolutely should. But there's a limit to these things. There's a limit to intention, and intention is very important. Like if somebody says something wrong and they didn't intend to, and they can agree with you that it's offensive, then all is well, right? And if they say something wrong and they don't agree with you that it's offensive, then whatever,
Mhm.
just move on because their intention was never to hurt the person. And if they can't see it's wrong, and it's a thing that's subjective enough to be interpreted as either okay or not, then it's like just leave it then, whatever. But the issue is when people don't intend something to be bad, it's not bad, and then people are like, "It's and then they lose their livelihood. It's not fair. And then on the flip side, you have people like Amber Heard, who is like an abuser, who yeah, what's it? She accused Johnny Depp of being an abuser or something, and then the internet went ape banana poop on them. And yeah, she deserved that because what the hell? Johnny Depp's a sweetheart. I love that guy. Uh, so that's the opposite swing side, where it's positive. But just like with anything, it's something that gives people power, and power is abused easy.
Mhm.
That's the breakdown. Because power will never not be abused. Look at me. The first thing I'm gonna do with power is abuse it. And I'm not hiding it. I'm not gonna be one of those like YouTubers, Twitch streamers who's like, I would never do that. No, of course I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna
You
be
know,
like the next Nux Tuck.
yeah. Well, I don't know who that is, but
Well,
sure.
it's probably gonna be.
It's like, well, because I don't, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Uh-huh.
uh, from my point of view, I'm not doing anything wrong, because the power is power, and I was given power, so I wield it however I like. Who's to say what's evil and not? Because the people I punish are people who wronged me in the past, and yeah, that's unhealthy for me. But is that really evil? How wrong is it? If I'm not doing anything illegal, how wrong is it? You know? How much responsibility can I take if I talk about stuff like my old school and somebody tracks it down to harass them? How much of that is my fault? I can speak out publicly against it. But if they don't stop, what is my level of responsibility here? You know what I mean? It's like it's still power I wield, and I could have just not mentioned my school, but I don't like it, and of course I'm going to speak about the things I that happened to me, that I dislike, and then if people act on that, is it my fault if I say don't do it?
Well, I think the power is the idea in its entirety. Like even with something
Yeah.
as popular as Hermitcraft, when they're
Oh,
doing play
Hermitcraft. I
wars,
remember
yeah,
Hermitcraft.
they're doing playful wars where they're all friends and they're all just having fun. They still get people harassing each other
Oh, I heard
enough to
about
where
that. Yeah.
they have to say something. So then the white knights in their community protect the other streamers, and if you
Yeah.
don't like, take advantage of that, then you don't set an example and you don't publicly shame the wrongdoers, and so but then it works in the opposite way. Like sometimes a joke in that genre or a call to action that isn't actually supposed to be a call to action will cause the same effect in the opposite direction entirely.
Yeah.
Which one do you think you're gonna
Yeah.
fall into first? I'm gonna
Oh,
wake up with 2,000
yeah.
messages. Boys, you're so mean to hair. How dare you?
Oh, don't worry. Look, how about this? Whenever I have, we'll just do a whitelist. A whitelist that will flash at the beginning of every video. These people are cool, and if we take people off the list, they'll know who to target.
It's the wanted
Oh,
list, and look at this.
yeah,
A new
exactly.
bounty has been posted.
No, don't
uh,
worry. If anyone harasses you, I'll ban them. See, that's the thing. I don't think I have a zero tolerance for people like that. Like you know the streamer who lives in my proximity. Yeah, you know
uh,
her.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, okay, okay.
she streams, and she had a recent, I guess, run in. What do you call it? Was like one of the more annoying parts of streaming, which is sometimes you're gonna run into people you don't
Mm.
like who act like jerks in the chat, and who kind of insult the rest of your audience, and not even in like a, oh look, I'm joking way, in a like let me give you like a word for word example. It's like people just don't like it when I speak the full truth. It's like people just can't take it. That's just the way I am. That's the number one excuse. It's always like, that's just the way I am. You know,
Mm.
I tell it how it is, and if I, what's it? Her issue was that, like, her most recent issue was that she was just vibing with her fans and showing off her Stardew Valley farm, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, like the obnoxious guy in chat, was like, "Oh, anybody who says this is good, you guys are all simps, and I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I just say it how it is, I don't censor myself, you know."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sure, but it's still like, don't be a freaking jackass. Maybe they do like the farm, maybe it is just an okay farm. I mean, what does it matter if people have this opinion, and the streamer was unbothered by it, but she was like, maybe don't call my fans simps, because that's not nice. And then the response was just the same kind of defensiveness, of like, they just are, though. They are simps. Your farm sucks.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's cool.
Yeah,
With like that's something that's still in front of you and you can do immediately, or the
yeah,
mods that they'll eventually have can do.
exactly. Yeah,
But let's
it's like,
say you reach like how many thousands of people, and then you get
oh,
just a
jeez.
flood of how like hundreds of comments. And are you or me going to weed through them all?
You know me,
And
Marsh. I'm gonna have 4
and
followers, and I'm already halfway there.
hey, Budgie.
Oh, Budgie, maybe I'm 75% of the way.
Oh yeah, those are like the 300 comments, or just 300 of your ults that it was you. Oh, hello,
Uh,
DB.
oh, who?
It's okay.
Okay, well, uh, yeah, I guess that's true. It's hard to moderate. I guess you can only do what the Hermitcraft people do, which is like,
Try
please
and
don't do
warn
that.
folk.
Oh, there you
It
go.
sounded like you were making slapping
Ah, I
sounds.
dropped my
We should
pen.
do with the Hermitcraft people to slap slap.
Sorry, there was a fly. There's a fruit fly. I think it's starting to become fruit fly season again in this area where I'm living in, because I saw another one
Well,
the other day, and they don't usually show up at all, you know. So who knows? I think it just might be the time again for this kind of stuff, you know.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, sorry. I don't mean we should slap Hermitcraft people.
Oh
I
no.
do enjoy their content. That was actually my comfort content for a while. Is I think Mumbo Jumbo before he got crazy famous. You know, like I was having a bad summer, and I was just like, I want to watch some Minecraft. Minecraft's nice, and then I was like, oh, Mumbo Jumbo, and then he was like, hi, I have a mustache and I do videos. I'm like, wow. And then he didn't have a mustache in real life, and I can't say I wasn't
Yeah.
disappointed.
Are you serious?
I was like, oh, it's
Uh-huh.
such a cute mustache, you know. You just think like, oh, sounds like he would. It would be fun if he did have a mustache. Like the other guy, like the guy he hangs out with all the time. I forget his name, the blonde one.
Green?
Yeah. He looks the exact same in real life as his avatar. I do believe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's like, yeah, it's just like a mustache to some people. You know, I always draw a big mustache on some characters because I'm like, yay, mustache. But yeah, sorry. I guess the only thing you can do about like fan base is like going after people is to be like, hey, don't, you know.
Well, yeah, it's because
Well,
it's shame. It's public. You know how public shaming is horrible in schools, but also it works really well. That's the same mentality where people in societies don't actually fucking change things
yeah.
unless they're shamed. Like I still remember when a lot of
Oh yeah.
like
I was shamed too.
I was
That's
so
that's true.
old that I was back when people were hiding being any sort of alternative, right? I still remember when people had to hide that shit, and it wasn't a moment of
Yeah.
pride to speak out about it or to announce it or
I
anything.
like the Arctic monkeys or something. I don't know.
And you know that was something that happened after people started getting shamed for it, and now it's now the opposite direction where people go too far with the movement, and it's got an
Oh
opposite
yeah,
effect.
I guess that's true. Well, I mean, the difference though is that I like you, and
Shame
I
on
don't
you
like
for
I,
not.
I don't like the people from my school, right? The people who were
Mm.
in charge of managing it. I honestly don't care about the students because, well, we were all young and stupid, and we all have the capacity for change. But the people who are managing the place, it's like you are grown adults. You have no excuse. You are just petty, you know.
Mm.
Um, and if those people get harassed, I'd be like, no, stop,
But
don't.
don't do it. Oh no.
Harassment is bad. Anyways, well, like if you got harassed, I'd be like, don't. I like Marsh. I don't want to just stop hanging out with
Uh-huh.
me.
It's
You
but
know?
she's losing her mind and
Oh, what is it?
his work got into you, but she don't even know what's happening.
Shame on you for not getting a mask despite being Asian. Shame on you for not being a bird.
Yeah, you know what's even funnier? This is our fucking moderator. You know what she did? Okay. I don't know how familiar with Twitch culture, but as soon as I went to another Twitch stream, she started linking socials and chat without checking the rules.
Budgie is the type of moderator I need. I need a rebel. I need a thug in my
Who
corner.
constantly gets timed out because they don't read the linking rules. You're taking other people's jobs.
Oh boy, I do need a thug though. I love that Budgie. Go ahead.
I
Keep
looked
going.
all budgie.
Oh boy. Well yeah. Look at this. This looks pretty epic, right? Even though I stole the art.
Yeah, now you should go and try and draw heck in that style.
No, stop. That's the difficult part.
Yeah,
Why
you
would I
take
do
what
that?
you learned about it. Look, okay, so you know how I do it? I isolate one thing at a time. So let's
Yeah.
say you want puffy pants. You look at the puffy pants as to why they look the way they do, and you
What? You okay?
no, we steal people's shit. I need the racist spell just like Womble has you.
Man, Budgie, what's going on?
They
Oh
have a Twitch. The YouTube is just for VODs, Budgie. The Twitch is
Hey, Budgie, do you want to be my full-time moderator? If I can afford to pay you, I will. This is gonna be so good.
Oh my god. Are you guys gonna even
Uh,
agree on like what should be
oh, I
moderated?
don't
Well,
I don't need
that's
to.
another reason why I have it the way it is, because if I can't let chat say it, I don't want anyone else to say it either. Not that
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
be afraid to ban people, but like it encourages it, people, streamers curve their audience. They create their audience. They encourage their audience, whether they want to or not. Certain streamers and certain content have certain audiences. And
Yeah.
man, do I not want to. I don't want people who want to profess their opinions in such a way.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, Budgie, next time spell check.
What were we talking about before we got derailed completely by Budgie?
Um,
Something about harassment and how you can
oh,
avoid
having
it, I guess.
to think what you say affects your audience. It's basically like a
Yeah.
loose conversation as to how much you should affect your audience by what you say
Oh,
or
right, right, right.
whatever, or Nux Taku.
Well, to an extent, you have no control, right? Because well, obviously, I can be like, I hate this and this is bad, and that will affect the audience to think one way, right? But I mean, who's to say that's wrong if I had negative experiences and I'm gonna mention the negative experiences? So the question becomes like, I mean, I'm a big believer if everyone's been endowed with free will and we all choose to do what we do, and there's no real excuse for your own actions. And you can't really because when you excuse your own actions, what you're trying to do is absolve yourself of guilt, and guilt is a very healthy thing. Feel guilty and then don't do it again. You
Well,
can't undo the thing you did wrong, just live with it.
one thing I
uh
can. Oh, okay,
yeah.
you're not done.
Well, I'm pretty much done, don't worry about it.
Something that I know you even spoke about before is you didn't like politics with your comics. You just want to read a thing and have a haha. It's kind of like
Yeah.
that. There's this thing in called trauma dumping, where someone comes in with a
I know
real
this. Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Yeah. And of course,
yeah,
everyone has to be sympathetic because it is an actual serious problem and it deserves our sympathy. But at the same
yeah,
time, it controls chat. It controls what you do. It controls your show. And this is not the
yeah,
time or the place for it. And
yeah.
so it's
So
kind of like
that's
that as well. Is
yeah.
your platform that's supposed to be for entertainment? Is that what you want it to be? A thing where they get to see your dirty laundry and then you have to get angry at the world and then go out and reap destruction and,
See,
and like, is that what you want for your
well, I
shit?
mean, look, there's a fundamental difference, right? Which is that
Yes, you do.
well, the thing is, I don't think my Twitch channel or my YouTube channel is going to be for entertainment. It's going to be for me. It's going to be for me to do what I want. And even when I mention stories about school that I went to and like bad experiences with professors, I always try to make them funny, so that there's entertainment value to them. Like I
Mm.
I I, I do agree with what you say, and trauma dumping is something that might have to be done, but there's always a time and place for it, and it's not just like, oh hey, this is a fun stream, let me tell you about my childhood molestation, or something like
Oh
that.
my god!
Well, this is a different context. This is a serious medical trauma that does happen
Comedians
in the
get booed
world.
off stage for that.
Yeah, but look, it's not a joke. It's true. Like this happens, and it affects people, and there is a time and place to talk about it. That's all I'm saying. And obviously, if you're watching a fun stream, you don't want to hear about that. Not because you don't sympathize or it's not a valid issue, but that's
Mm,
just not what you came here for. Like, there's an escapism in entertainment, and throwing something so real into the fray is not always fun. You know.
mm-hmm.
So that's an obvious issue, but I feel like if I want to talk about my issues on my channel that is for me, and then make it funny, because obviously, like, I'm not gonna walk up and be like, when I was in school, I was bullied, and when I was bullied, I was very sad, I was very depressed. I spent so many years being alone. you know, because it's not fun. It's not funny. It's just like I'm forcing. I it's
Yeah.
like I have a it's like I have a captive audience, you know, like I'm holding them at gunpoint because now I've socially pressured them into a situation where it's almost rude to leave, and I've tricked them into it by saying, "Haha, let's just have fun. I'm gonna play Undertale." And then in the middle of Undertale, I'm like, "Here is my entire life story. Please sympathize with me and tell me I'm right." You know,
Mm,
that's a no in my book. You know, that's no good. It don't
mm,
ama it's not good. You know, that's why when even earlier when I was telling the story about like the stupid professor, you know, I mean, I
mm.
work myself up over it and I get angry, but obviously I don't really care that much anymore. You
Uh,
know, but the
Keyword.
anger is the anger is funny, you know, and it's funny to exaggerate how upset I am about it, and it's funny to exaggerate like how much I hate the people involved because it is funny, you know. But I guess I have to be more clear that at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me, you know. It's just like whatever. Would I want to see these people die? Yeah, sure, but you know, it's not at the top of my list. It doesn't matter to me if it happens or not.
It'd
You
be
know, I
extra
mean,
fluff in my day, you know.
exactly. It's like, oh, you know, you wake up in the morning, this guy's dead. I'm like, huh? Well, look at that, you know. Uh, and of course, you know, I got a little bit angry, you know, but that's
Yeah,
like
how did court
residual
go?
anger. Yeah. You know, it's like residual anger that pops up, but it still serves the overall funniness of the whole thing, at least in my opinion. And if I'm wrong about this, then I'm completely wrong about a lot of things, and I need to take a good look at like how I conduct my comedy. But I feel like there was entertainment value in that story. I mean, what do you say?
Oh no, it's highly entertaining, especially with the thank goodness context after
Yeah.
thinking you were off your rockers. Wow, finally, I
Uh,
get the whole story. It only took being live in a recorded situation that can be referenced to with a time machine that we call fucking whatever.
uh,
Yeah, well, great. It is highly entertaining, and actually, that kind of content, the spicy content, it does really well. The
hmm,
trolly, jokey, angry content, ranty, it
yeah.
does so well, and that's
Yeah.
great.
Tell that to my millions of followers, Marsh.
Well, sure, but you have issues choosing what you want to do. Like, I can
Yeah.
say, considering how well you did with what, whatever you did invest into Instagram, you did insanely well. And the reason why
Mm,
it stopped growing is because you stopped investing in it for health related reasons. Like,
healthy
it
health
wasn't
related.
actually
Uh,
like a bad thing that you stopped. But what I'm saying is that you can make it work if you stuck with something. Oh look,
hmm,
the the suit.
that fat suit. Sorry, I have to
Yeah,
pull it up.
context is great. Yeah, I love context. I swear to fucking God, you have issues, Marsha. Uh huh. Thanks.
Uh,
How spicy are you
yeah.
talking about? Oh, any variety, like from ranting about a dilly bar to things that I'd rather not have on my stream.
To
Spicy is
condemning
spicy,
the
People, it's entertaining to be
yeah.
angry. It's cathartic. It's everything, and that shit does really well.
Yeah.
But also, like, the audience intimidates me. I have yet to. It's
I
so
kind of
intimidating.
I kind of unsheebified him by accident. I didn't even mean to. I'm looking at it now and I realize I kind of did this. Look at him. He's way more anime boy than this boy than this guy. Look how cute this one is.
Okay, wait,
He's all
stay
like,
right there. Oopsie poopsie. That's a clicky. I did a clicky. Oh my god. Okay,
oh,
wait.
I see a
1,
screenshot.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what's funny? You did normal body proportions. Good job.
Yeah.
You unintentionally did the thing that you've been trying to do.
I stretched him out by accident.
Uh-huh.
I was like, return to your form.
Well, you know what people say
Yeah.
when they're doing studies? They like putting a spin on it. Like whenever I do anatomy study, I like drawing a character that I want to draw in that pose to make it more fun for my monkey brain,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's cool and shit.
I've unconsciously become a higher level. That's a nice thing that my art teacher said is that he was surprised that I didn't complain. about having to draw rain.
No, please
He
continue.
mentioned like a lot of his students, like apparently, because I didn't know this was the case, but I could see it now that he mentioned it, right? But apparently, like sometimes he'll give an assignment, like the assignment he gave me, right, which was essentially here's a script, do a comic, you know.
Right.
And the script mentioned like it's a rainy afternoon, blah 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 blah, whatever. You know, it could have been anything. It could have been the sign across the street is glowing faintly. It could have been there's a storm or the wind is blowing heavily. Blah, anything that's like kind of moody like that. You know, it could have been the prompt, but it was rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And went into my homework and I was like, I don't know how to draw rain,
Uh-huh.
you know. So what I did was instead of emailing him, I'll pull it up the image. I looked up how to draw rain,
I'm so proud of you.
you know,
Good
and
job.
I found a tutorial that was like, here's how you make a rain brush. So I have a rain brush now. It's somewhere. I don't even know where I put it. You
I
know, I
wish
think
that
it's
wasn't it, but good job anyway.
oh, here we go. See my custom rain brush. Um I made this all on my own. Look at it, it's rain. Woo, you know?
Yeah.
And after I did that, I went in and then I finagled a little bit. Look, I added these little splashes, you know. I added
Mm-hmm.
in smaller bits of rain in the back. There's some rain dripping off
Mm-hmm.
the sign, you know, because I was like, that looks good. I can kind of imagine, like, I know what perspective is. There's rain in the back and in the front, you know. Same with
I like
here.
your
It's like
perspective.
there's perspective, you know. Rain falls everywhere, not just like right in front of the camera. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, easy peasy, did it, you know. And then, but he was baffled by this. My art teacher, he was like,
I wonder why.
no, yeah, because
Uh-huh.
apparently, when you get into class, you know, and there's a prompt like draw the wind, draw the rain, draw the faint glow across the street. The student is more so like, oh gosh, he's more inclined to be like, oh, I don't know how to draw rain. You never taught me how to draw rain. If I don't know how to draw rain, how do you expect me to draw rain? You're a bad teacher, David.
Uh-huh.
And he's just, you know, he screams a little bit on the inside
Uh-huh.
because you going, like there's something I'm missing.
Oh no, it's just really hilarious how it out of context it sounds just like the other case where you,
Yeah.
look, you can
Uh-huh.
see the irony, right?
I can see it a little bit. But that's the point of growing and learning, right? Is that, hey, now I've gotten better and now I know that I don't have to rely on other people for everything. I could just look up how to do it. And hey, I did it, you know.
Yeah, good job.
It's
No,
that
seriously,
easy.
good job. I've been waiting for this. I'm waiting for these
Yeah,
references for ages.
I have, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
here I am
Here
doing
you
reference.
are. Soon
Wah,
enough, you'll learn how to yoink and, learn from your studies. Your
ew, I don't
copy
want to
studies.
learn drawing study. See, how do I draw spiky hair with this reference? I'm thinking. I'm finagling my brain.
I
The
mean, do you
ears
need
are
it to
crazy.
be that style, or do you like it, or do you doing it for practice?
It's both practice and I do like how flowy it is. It's got that like volume that I don't draw in. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure. Let's see.
And then
Hmm.
the ears are down. I think I do prefer ears that are down because they look so cute. You know,
It has
gives it
this
that little
kind of
it gives it that little cow look.
hmm.
You know,
I think it
like
has
wow.
this kind of stuff. You can do this to the curl. Like the thing you used to do a lot is this was your curl. It was like a one
Like a little like
blob.
one blob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have 3D to it. It didn't have a dark side or a back or something. So if you do
Yeah,
that to the
sure, sure, sure.
curl, you can kind of put in the suggestive swish. What it is you know how to do this curve. It's just almost a half circle. What they do is
Yeah.
they add a little thing to it at the end. That's what it is.
Ah,
And so
it's the
if you
trick.
were to
It's a trick of the light.
and they do supporting curls. Like if there's a one big curl, then there's a supporting like a small one and a big one. That's what they're doing right now.
Hmm, okay, can you screenshot that and just send it
Oh
to
my
me?
god.
Yeah, what?
No,
I like having my screenshots ready.
Do you still keep up your little Discord thing with my stupid tutorials
Yeah,
on it?
well, I don't keep it up with the tutorials. I pretty much took all your tutorials and put it into this canvas right here. This is everything we went through in chat with the little what's it, this the little
Oh, what did I do? Fuck.
spider,
There we
what
go.
is this? Spider girl, spider cat girl,
I
spider
don't
cat girl
know where
monster?
I got it from. I just know it's cute.
Which is a shame because it looks great. I would have loved to see more.
Well, go image reverse search
Yeah,
and see
that's
what you
probably
find.
what I'm going to do. And same with this. Do you know where you got this from? It's from 2018, apparently. But I can't see any other like signature
Oh,
on it.
Pinterest, but I didn't see the source with it.
Ah.
Like, you'll have to reverse image search and see what you find. Oh, look, Budgie says soon he will be selling NFTs.
Oh my god! Though I wish the problem with NFTs is the how do you like create them? It's like some technical mumbo jumbo that is so annoyingly technical. It becomes this like exercise in programming that I just don't have the time for. It's a completely different skill again. It's like, hey, you want to learn this new skill? And I'm like, nope.
Like, you can sell what you did as stickers or something. Hey, you just made your badges. You made your Twitch badges.
Oh yeah, what?
Oh my,
I made
yes.
my
You went
uh-huh.
halfway into this project. You made a lot. You made art. You
Oh
have
yeah.
your Twitch badges by
Uh,
using the art you made.
oh, you want me to use that as Twitch
You could
badges?
if you don't, I mean, you could, like, as your or you, yeah, because it's gonna I don't know about you, but I haven't worked on my theme at all because I've been busy.
Well, I
So
mean, I
my
don't think that
badges,
works as my Twitch badges because like my whole theme is pine trees and pine cones, So I think I'll just make them pine cones.
sure.
They can collect pine cones, or they can collect, or maybe I'll make the badges like tree branches because uh, they look nice. I still remember once I
All
went
right,
through one of my
then
favorite. Yeah.
you get to do nothing with your network.
Well,
How about you sell it as
yeah,
potential badges on fucking Etsy?
I could, but I hope that like someday soon there'll be the like NFT search where they're like, hey, maybe this is an easier way to do it. You want to sell? You know what? Maybe I'll just screw it. It's such a stressful thing as well, and then I'll just sue whoever makes them into NFTs.
Yeah, I think the things you need to be successful in a project like that would be the
Yeah,
same stuff that would take off your, would make your socials grow anyway. So I
yeah.
think chasing after one, when you could do that with the stuff that you care about actually,
I
is
mean, it was so easy to create what I intended to sell as NFTs that I could very easily just make more like that and prey on the innocent who like cute things.
if they're
Yeah.
buying them, I don't think they're they're innocent.
You don't think so? Does
No.
my art reveal something deeper about the human psyche
Oh
if you
no,
buy
I
it?
meant like
Yeah.
the idea of it in general. Like, if you were a buyer
Yeah.
and you wanted a super encrypted link from a Google document, like Google Drive,
Yeah.
to say that you have the original of something, when at the end of the day
Yeah.
you're getting a Google link.
Yeah.
Are you being healthy mentally? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well,
Uh,
I mean, that's never for me. I don't need to know if they're healthy. I just need their money.
yeah.
That's the crux, right? I don't care if people are only paying for like a thin line of code and they could just control S and save control C, save the image and then copy paste and print it out. That's not my issue. That's not my this has nothing to do with me. If they choose to do that, that's on them. You can see like there's something going on in my brain. There's like a failure to copy already. I'm like, what am I doing? The moment I get to actually drawing heck.
Okay, well, you want you're even changing the ears?
Yeah, I like these
Because
ears.
okay, okay.
because they're so
Well,
cute. They're
you're
so
doing a good job. I don't know what you're fussed about. Is this the thing where you
maybe
draw lines 20 times before you're decided, even though you draw the same line 20 times? Is that it?
that maybe it maybe.
No, it's a good shape for the downwards thing.
Yeah, okay.
Here,
How
look,
about the hair? How do you draw volume in spiky hair? Marsh, teach me. Even though
I just sent it to you. I
I
just
just,
sent it to you.
I just proved that I have the ability to learn. I still want you to do everything for me. See, the funny thing is that I'm lazy and you're good at art, so 2 and 2 makes 3.
Is that how math works? I'm
Yep.
so happy.
Don't think about it too much. Just do my work for me, the wench. Oh boy, my God, can't wait to improve on my art style.
Yeah, I can't
I want
wait
to
till
come
you
back.
don't even have to ask me anymore. You'll be like, I know
No, I'm
what this
always gonna
technique
ask you.
is.
Well, yeah, I'm
Oh
still gonna
my
ask you to
gosh.
bother you.
Oh, here's Budgie. she's about to smack down with
No,
you.
that's not
She's
how
going
math
to
works.
destroy you right
No.
now. Get your. Never mind.
Yeah. What part of my body should I get ready, Marsh? Uh, is it a southern part of the body?
Is
Yeehaw!
it suggestive of something that I would rather not make jokes about? Oh, here
Oh,
we go. I finally pulled
I'm,
up
get,
the reference you're using. See, when
I'm getting
I
Discord messages from Budgie.
oh, see, I told you, you just unleashed a can, and that can is gonna hit you right in the noggin.
I could tell a funny story about math class. I wonder if it will insult Budgie more.
Please, wait a second. Do I know the
Yeah.
story?
It's not crazy.
Uh-huh.
It's just this is how math worked in my school,
Alrighty.
right? Which is
Sure.
that like in my school they had the look, yeah, but you will know this. Budgie's from Singapore. They have the similar system there where you have the smart class, the okay class, and the dumb class. you know
Uh-huh.
and that's how they group students. It's like you're smart, you're stupid, and you're okay. And they do it way more overtly, or so I've heard, in Singapore. They're literally just like, you're dumb, you're smart, okay, move along. But in other countries, namely Germany, oui, oui, they try to hide how stupid they think they are, that you are. So they'll be real kind to you. They'll be like, okay, class, so we have A class, B class, and C class, and we're just going to split you all up equally between the three classes, okay? No funny business here. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds okay. That I trust these adults who are taking care of me and supposed to be responsible for my education." And so they made their little groups, A, B, and C, and I wasn't C, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to start. I love math. I love to study math because math, the beauty. Buddy is right. I have to give Buddy some credit. There's a beauty in knowing that 2 plus 2 is 4, and
I thought you
to
were
be able
gonna
to.
say something like 2 plus 2 is 5, just to fuck with her.
Oh, that would have been better. But it scales upwards. At the bottom, you have 4 plus 4 equals fish, and it scales upwards into like infinite logic, right?
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and everything can be traced back to that simple like idea of addition and blah and blue, and everything has its place, and even like the most complicated like quadratic things, they can be summarized with like volume. Like a
Mm.
square has volume. Like weird quadratic stuff is something volume, this and that. I saw a video on it. I have no idea how to explain it, but it's there. The logic is there, and you can follow it, step by step. It's like you build a pyramid, except you have to start with one brick, and then you understand what each brick does before you move up. It's beautiful. It's great. I like it until they put me into C class. Because what I
Mm.
realized as a young lad in C class was that they lied. This
Mm.
is not split up equally. And you want to know how I know? Because sometimes the teacher will send you to get stuff and you walk past the other math classes.
Hmm.
And then I'll walk past A class, and everybody's sitting down, studying quietly. There's some weird elvish on the blackboard that I've never seen before, but I won't pay it any no mind. I'll keep walking to B class. B class. There's something on the board. I still recognize numbers. It's like, yes, that's a 4, and then followed by like whatever the hell this is. But
Hmm.
it's still, I know that this is a 4, so there's something to grasp at here. There's some people talking in this class, but mostly people study. And then I'll walk back to my class, and it'll be you know and then I'll sit down, and then you have the teacher who's pregnant, 9 months pregnant. Is stressed out of her mind, sitting at the class. Her hair is going everywhere. She looks like she hasn't slept in 4 years.
Hmm.
And she's trying to point at the board, being like, "Oh, what, ja, jaga baga, ja, no, correct. 4 plus 4 no equals 6." And then the two people next to me will be like, yeah, okay, go, banana, banana,
Banana.
and then
Banana.
a thought will start to form in my head, and I'll think maybe they didn't split this up equally. May, maybe this isn't. Maybe we, maybe I got the short end of the straw. And the thing about these environments is you can't learn. You know, you can't learn in an environment where all you can hear is other monkeys screaming at you. you know it's like, why do the people in the good class do well? Is it because they're all above average intelligence? The chance is there. It's slim, but it's there. Or is it perhaps that the people who are all of an average intelligence are able to study in a disciplined and controlled what what being around smart people makes you smart. What? Being able to turn around to your fellow classmate without him going ooga booga and asking them, "Do you understand this question?" And then going, "Yeah, I do understand. Let me show you how it's that." What? That increases that helps you in class? Oh, what? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that being in a supportive environment with smart kids would make you more intelligent? Well, I never saw that coming. Now, did you see that coming, Borsch? Did you see? Is this something that schools are aware of? Well, this really blew my mind when I first figured it out.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like it doesn't just stop here. This is one thing. A lot of schools do this,
Yeah, even my
where they
school kind of did this.
segregate
But
the students. It's not right. It's not good. It just leads to one really stupid class that gets bullied and one really intelligent class. And the teachers being like, "Wow, well, these kids manage it. Why can't the stupid ones? I'm so smart. My teaching must be superior to the poor 9 months pregnant
well,
woman."
here's the thing. When my
Yeah.
school did it, you could progress to get to the other classes.
Yeah,
And you know
sure. I
what, the
mean,
mo- the
eventually, I'm.
people that were in those other classes were the ones who were like, I need to get a C, and then after that I don't have to try anymore. And that was
Yeah.
that was it. So,
So I
I
can
didn't
I can
experience a bad thing with the
I can understand that, but the
separating.
reason why the C class aims for a C is because nobody ever cared to make them strive for more.
I
They're
don't
like, "Hey,
think so. I
this
think
is
it's because they're lazy. They do it in the other classes as well.
I fervently believe that if you took the worst student out of the C class and put him in the A class, he would improve exponentially and at least end up in the B class, if not just stay at this level.
Or maybe
You
he'd
know?
say, "Oh my god, I don't need to know this for my degree. I want to go lift weights for a living," and then he'll not try even
But
more.
we're making assumptions about like the individual here. What I'm saying is, on an average, if you did this with 100 classes, I think the improvement would still be exponential compared to letting them rot in this class.
Yeah, funny how they
And of
turn
course,
tables.
yeah, I still like, of course, I agree individual factors can mess with it, but and I mean, I moved up to the B class, but I definitely didn't move up because I was more intelligent. or because like any of that stuff. I moved up because I finally decided maybe I'll just not listen to the teacher and not listen to the students and do everything myself, which completely negates the purpose of a class, you know? This is just an hour of my time that I don't get back where I have to listen to people yell and somebody who wasn't listening the entire time go, what does this mean? 4 times in a row, you know? And if I'm in this environment, I wouldn't like, I had to remove myself to be able to move up, you know? So this system is inherently rigged against the people who don't have that kind of like, I don't want to be around the ooga boogas anymore mentality, you know? And oh yeah, Budgie Singapore. Yeah, yeah. See,
Mhm.
we're split into different classes. We're taught different things, and we sat different exams. See, that's what my school started doing as well, which is just not okay because this is the next step that came along, which is that the A class was suddenly not only taught faster, but they were taught more advanced stuff that they didn't know, you know, and this was like middle school, right? And then when
Mhm.
it came to high school, where you had more choices over what you wanted to pick for subjects, suddenly B and C were not allowed to take certain subjects. It's like, oh, you want to take advanced maths? Well, we didn't treat everybody fairly in the years before, so you just aren't allowed to do that at all. Only the A class is allowed to choose advanced math. Fuck you, you know? Which
It's
is not,
like
it's equal opportunities. It's not fair, you
what are
know?
you
And I,
gonna do when people learn at different speeds? Like, the reason why these classes are here is because these people didn't do well in their math and they have to go learn it again. You can't just put them in an advanced class if they don't know what they're doing. How are you gonna
of
separate
course
them
not.
but
But
not
the
have
thing,
this ooga booga
why
thing you're talking
why
about?
teach them more? Why is the response to, oh, this kid finished the work really fast because they work efficiently? Why is the reward for that more work? It's stupid.
To
Just
learn more! School's already very slow.
polish polish what's there. Don't build on it and then create an unfair advantage for these people and leave everybody in the dust mine. It wasn't even a thing where they offered, like, I could agree with what you're saying if they offered like what that A class was getting as an optional class after school or something. Then it's fine. Then you absolve that issue because then it's there, you know, and the A class is getting it because they're faster. But if anybody else wants it, it's free for you to gain. It's just more work. You know, that's fine because you're still providing the opportunity for everybody. But what they're saying is you aren't allowed. That's the issue, right? That's what the thing I have the issue is. It's not that, oh, they learn faster, they aren't allowed to learn more. That's not the thing. What have a problem with, it's not that A learns more, it's that B and C aren't allowed to learn more. You know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
that sucks. Because
Yeah,
we didn't have
that's
that part.
yeah, that's not the fair part. And then even more unfair is that it actually has tangible effects on your education, you know? Cuz like what I would expect is if I take like more advanced like math classes in high school, I assume the basics have been covered in the previous class and not that when I was a wee like 13-year-old that I was supposed to think about what I'm going to do when I'm 16 and because that's going to affect my high school courses because that's going to affect what I'm going to study when I'm 18. Like what I think about what I should study should happen here at
Mhm.
16, not when I'm 13, when I just got into puberty. That's not a good age for that. That's an unfair treatment of children. You know, don't expect a 13-year-old to have the foresight to be like, let me work really hard after school and work my ass off while I'm struggling with everything else, you know, so that I can get into the best class, so I can catch up with what the best class has already learned so that I can learn the extra stuff in the A class, so that when I am 16, I can choose the subjects that would otherwise be barred from me, so that I can study something at university that would once again be barred from me if I didn't study the things in high school, so that the university professors can tell me, forget everything you learned at high school.
Well, that's higher
You know,
education problems, unfortunately. Like,
it's
I don't
pyramid
even know
scheme.
what the fuck is. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't
Those that
even
came
know
from
what.
class A to class A usually struggle very badly. Yeah, it's the exact same as Singapore, Budgie. Welcome. Turns out we had a similar education. um, but yeah, you know, it's like it's not fair. And I mean, I don't know if you know this. I must have mentioned it before. I wanted to be a physicist. I didn't want to do anything creative.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to be an artist or a writer. I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a physicist. I'm gonna sit in a lab all day and discover stuff, you know. because I loved physics, and I this for
Mm.
the same reason I loved math, because I love breaking down the principles of the world into digestible, logical, build upon. I can make anything facts.
Hmm.
And that was all the fun of it. And that fun is not something that. What are you doing on your screen? By the way?
I'm problem solving.
That fun is not something that I suddenly lost. It was taken away from me because arbitrarily I didn't do well on one exam, and God knows for what reason. It's a
Mm.
pressure 1 hour 30 minutes thing where you're forced to just sit there and work under these exam conditions, right? And if you can't handle stress well, which evidently I did not, and you mess up more, then they use that to dump you into a worse class. And then when you're in the worst class, what do? You get worse because now I can't learn because I all I hear for 1 hour is screaming. 1 hour of screaming. I defy you to learn at that like freaking place. And now I lose enjoyment because suddenly this concept of maths and physics, which was very logical and easy to follow, has become this convoluted thing that I don't understand anymore because the teacher is too tired to teach and the people around me are too fucking ooga booga to learn. So what is the point? I've been robbed of my opportunities essentially because I did well badly on one exam, and if you imagine I struggle with this, imagine like people all across the world. It's like that's why I don't agree with modern education. It's like everything is so skewed in favor of like pressurized exam conditions that never ever reflect real life. Like like anybody in real life, nobody's ever going to sit you down and say, "Hey, you have an hour and 30 minutes to do a series of complex mathematical equations." You know, it's like it doesn't happen because it's pointless. And like the whole concept of like you have to remember everything as well. You're not allowed a textbook. You're not allowed your notes, even though they essentially have no reflection on how well you do a subject. Do you think rocket scientists or scientists in general don't have notes? They have more notes than anybody in the world because it's too difficult to remember this kind of stuff. No scientist is going to walk into a lab and be like, "Yeah, I just don't need these notes. I'm just going to do this in an hour and 30 minutes under pressurized conditions because it's just that easy. And if I mess up, then and I cost my lab millions in equipment."
Well,
Well,
here's a thing for you.
yeah,
Not only they say that like because America doesn't have a ton of those kind of
yeah,
tiered classes, that our education is actually lower. Like this, but the religious shit aside, the smarts, the
yeah,
statistical smarts of America are lower than countries that kind of like go, oh, this is what you're specialized at. Here, you
yeah,
get to go into this venue. The second one is unfortunately, well, I agree. I don't like modern education right now. I think the
yeah,
idea that people actually learn what they learn and are able to use it is akin to copying a reference, but then not being able to use it after you've copied it. Like an
yeah,
application of what you know is the key point of that. Like you could say that me testing my skills of anatomy is after I study bodies for an egregious amount of time, I go and try and make a pose by myself and see how I do. And then what I do after that, like I see what's wrong with it afterwards. That to me is the
yeah,
same as taking a test. So I think there are tests that are bad. Like there's some
yeah.
definitely bad tests, but the idea itself is something so natural.
Sure. I mean, if you say it like that, the idea doesn't seem that bad. But what's bad isn't mostly the idea itself, but the value we associate with it?
I mean, that's fair. The idea that
Yeah.
testing equals lots of consequences when
Yeah.
on hands
When
is better.
yeah, it's still an unfair environment, in my opinion, and an unfair way to treat uh kids. Because it is kids. It's just a dumb little kid. And you're sitting them down and saying, do this thing that you've never done before, or you only do like once a year. And focus and remember everything we learned throughout the entire year, and if you mess up, we're going to punish you for it severely, in the sense that you might be ostracized from your social group if it's like a very serious academic environment. You could be kicked into a lower class. You will disappoint your parents, all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
It's like why? why is this necessary? How is this more helpful than just letting the kids use their notes, you know, or saying, hey, let's find a different way to exam people, you know? People are so set in their ways with this educational system. And yeah, you know, America doesn't split it up that way and they have worse education, but I don't think it's because they don't split it up. I think it's because America's education is criminally underfunded, you know?
Mm.
You can't in any world convince me that if you spend 3 billion every year on military expenses that you can't spare a little more for healthcare or for
Mm.
education, you know? And it's outright ridiculous, but I'm not American and it doesn't bother me. They can do whatever the hell they want because I know if I start getting into it, I just get mad at how people are treated across the seas, you know? Because it is stupid, you know? And that's just the way it is. It is stupid. I can get into it more, but I don't have to, you know?
Mm.
And similarly with like education, um, there's just it's just so outdated, you know? There's so much outdated stuff that just has to change and people aren't changing it. And if I ever have kids, I'm seriously like considering just not sticking them into a school, you know?
Well, you
Like
could
cuz
just
you can
private
hire a
school
tutor.
them.
Yeah, well, you can private schools and homeschool, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, cuz I went to a private school. That was yeah. You know,
Mm.
so you can teach the kids at home. You can get tutors. You can have more control over like if the stuff they're being taught is useful or not. You know,
Mm.
like I knew from the start I wanted to do physics, you know, and that only changed later. But then why make me do geography, history, all that stuff? You know, you can pretend like it's the guise of wanting to expand our horizons, or you know, the guise of giving you more options to choose from. But the reality is that it's done this way because it's always been done this way, and it's never been reviewed, and people are too afraid to review it. You know,
So why is
yeah,
that
everybody needs it.
bad
Yeah,
when
why?
if people aren't doing
Yeah.
well in math, they don't get the option to learn other things that they're not good at or using?
Well, I guess it's like with everything, it's intention, right?
Mm.
Because if I'm not good at math and my intention is to be good at math, then and then you say I'm not good at math and then you bar me from other stuff, then you're messing with me because I'm not getting good grades. But I do want to get good grades. I do want to be good at math and I do want to do all these things. I just can't, you know, or I need more help with it.
Mm.
Whereas like if I do bad at maths and I don't have any interest in math, and then you bar me from other stuff, that makes sense. You know, that makes perfect sense because I didn't
Mm.
have any interest in math to begin with, you know, and I'm doing bad because I have no interest in it. But like just grouping these two people together, the people who do want to do math and the people who don't want to do math, you create this disparity where you judge everybody by the same meter. And like you can have people who hate maths and excel at it, and people who love maths and do terrible at it. You know, it's not so cut and dry that if I like it, it equals I'm good at it. You know, I mean, I
Mm.
liked art. I sucked at art for so long. I still suck at art. You know, and it's just that's the way it is. You know, just because I like something doesn't mean I'm automatically good at it. And to say that like kids are supposed to have the opportunities as everybody else because hey, you know, you're not doing as well as other people is stupid. What we should do is this fine intention. You know, people talk about college years and university years being the years where you really figure yourself out, but why does it have to be then? Why not give children the opportunity to choose what they want to do at an early age? And if they change their mind later, who cares? People change their mind later already without this system that could make it easier for people
Mm.
to like broaden their options and broaden their horizons. All we're doing is giving them a bunch of useless knowledge, punishing them for not knowing it, and then tossing them into a world where it's completely irrelevant, where then they change their mind and do something completely different. You know, it's stupid. If I loved cooking as a kid, let me do cooking classes. Let me study cooking. Cooks are needed all around the world. And what better cooks are there than the people who start as kids, who aren't boggled by their failures and can grow to such a degree that when they are aware of their failures, they can build on them more constructively than feel like, oh, I'm this age, I shouldn't suck this much at it, you know?
Okay,
And the same with
how would you
yeah.
introduce people to like survey? Like this is a sample platter. How do you let people sample things to even begin to know what they want to actually do without
Oh,
going back to like the same educational system we
I
still
thought I
have
thought
that are
I thought you
flawed?
were asking how I would enforce it.
Oh my
I would
god.
enforce it. with
Oh, I
roots
know
of
the answer.
military
An
failure.
iron fist on fire. That's how it went.
Hold on. Before I answer that, I'm gonna answer Budgie because she's been typing in the chat.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I do agree in Singapore because it is competitive. Your competition starts at the age of 5. Um, yeah, you do have to work hard, and you do have to work insanely hard in Singapore, way harder than I would ever have to work. And I don't agree with it. No, I don't think it should be that way. And how would I introduce it? How would I do a sample? Well, I'm no paleontologist. No,
What?
well, pediatrician. I'm no pediatrician.
Oh, goodness.
But how I would introduce it? Well, you do something that's more fun. Do something new. Do something new every month. Every week is kind of demanding, but do something every month. That's a good time frame. You have 7 months of school in a year. Let everybody do what they want. I mean, you still have to force kids who might not be interested to do something, but hey, you're only doing it for a month. Do that for a year. Next year you can have more faculty buildings. This requires like a lot more funding towards schools, but hey, have a cooking part of the school, have a art department of the school. It doesn't have to be so specific where you can only learn one thing at one building, but art can cover anything. Art can cover clay, it can cover sculpting, it can cover line art, sketching, landscape, painting. Like all of that can fit into one building. Same with cooking. You can cook anything. You can do pastries, baking, Italian, French, all these cuisines, they all exist in one building. It
So,
doesn't have to be
so
hey, yeah,
pre-existing, there's home ec, there's
yeah.
sewing and cooking
In
and that.
America. In America. They don't have that in here.
Oh,
Home ec is not a thing, unfortunately.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we also have car, work on car.
We didn't have that either.
Okay, yeah, I guess we get to pick our electives. Like, we have to still do basic reading, basic math up to a certain point. Like, I think it stops right
But,
before calculus. That's what we're required to learn, and everything past that is like optional, depending on what
yeah,
university or college you want to go to. But then we get to pick
yeah,
all of our electives, which involve things like cooking or lifting weights
yeah.
or aerobics.
Well, that's so much more useful. I mean, I agree, right? Let force the kids to do stuff for like maybe 2 years or 3 years from the ages of like 12 to 14. You know, really let them experiment. Let them do whatever they want. Like 7 months, a year, 14 months. That's 14 different, completely different subjects you can learn. You can have a sports month, where you go over all kinds of sports.
I,
You can have
yeah.
cooking, you can have art, you can have, and even better, like since you have 2 years of students who do this, you can rotate so you can get double the mileage out of every building. You can have 7 buildings and then rotate the students between them, or I mean 14 buildings, and just do it. I don't know. Okay, I don't know how the math on this works. I think I'm wrong, but there's definitely a rotation thing you can figure out where you switch the students so that every building is always in use every year. So there's never going to be the feeling of like, we aren't using this building. Why do we have it? Because you're always going to have fifth, sixth graders, in your school. And you're always going to have like people who then do choose that subject and then continue to pursue it in their own building, you know? And you just have so much like mileage you can get out of that. And then every year after like the first 2 years can be spent like splitting the kids up into their each their own,
We'll
all of their
split
own
them in
buildings.
half and
And
hang them by their ankles.
yes, make an example of them to all the non-believers. But the best part is you can suddenly like a big thing for me in school is like I'm sitting in math class, and here I am on my little seat in math class, and next to me is jock number 1, you know, and next to me is popular girl number 3. It's like I'm not gonna make friends with them because we like different things,
Mm.
you know. And maybe in some breakfast club world we could have all been the best of friends, but hey, that's not how real life works. And even the breakfast club, they have to all be stuck in detention together and be forced to talk. It's like that's what happened. But like, imagine if I was in an art school or a physics department. Suddenly, I'm surrounded not only by people who love the subject, but people who are passionate about it, and they can study and they can learn and all that stuff. And even better, when they start their third year, where they have to do the studying, and they have to lock themselves into a building. Give them a trial month. Give them a trial month where they learn more of the basics, more of the intricacies, more about how difficult it is and what they have to expect. And if they want to change, let them change, and then they can quit. And then, yeah, they have to do catching up, yeah, they made a mistake and they have like more to pay for it in their own time, but it's their mistake. They can own it, they can work for it, and they can amplify, they can their experience by realizing that, they have the power, they have the freedom to change, and it
Mm.
teaches them such valuable lessons at such a young age. you know Not only do you own your mistakes, they have to do more work to catch up to them, but you also are free to do so, and there's no shame in it. And then now you have a school, a world where you can be a cook, you can be a writer, you can be an artist, you can be a sports junkie, and just learn all about sports. You can be a history major, a geography major, you can do all of that stuff, and it will be your choice. A language major, and hell, who says they only have to pick one subject, right? They can pick multiple subjects. This is a school, goddammit. You have a lesson every hour, every day. Just let them do other courses, within different buildings. And the courses that everybody should take that are mandatory, make it basic math. But don't just say do basic math, but teach them why they're doing algebra. Because it's a simple concept. X equals something. What is X? That's something you do use in everyday life, even though it's not as apparent as just X equals something. But you do substitute value into objects,
Oh, you know
and it's
what's the
helpful to know.
funniest? The
Yeah.
funniest, the most compelling reason for me to learn math was D&D.
The D&D,
And then
yeah.
Waffle is like crunching Asian MMOs, damage
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Fun
Or it
fact.
goes to show that interest can be everywhere, like
Mm,
one here are the mandatory classes that everybody should attend before they split off, right?
mm.
Basic math, basic history, because it's important to learn from your mistakes. And in history, I wouldn't even call it history. I'd cram it into like humanitarian things. How do I treat my fellow man? How do I not act like a jackass? Basic like social stuff like that. You have to learn it. People don't learn it and they act like jackasses afterwards. Surprise, surprise. you know,
I don't
like
know
stuff,
if
all
that
that stuff in there.
helps. Cause like
Well,
we had videotapes and we had lectures and we had like not even just the dumb tapes that are automatically bad, but then the teacher comes up and talks about personalizing it and actually making it relatable instead of really gawky and corny. But
yeah,
people just spit out the right answer, and at the end of the day they don't give a crap because like it's like, oh yeah, it's so easy to be nice when there's an allowance for it, but the real world isn't like that. And that's just kind of the mentality that just drifts through the entire class. I don't even
well
know
then,
if those kinds of classes would work as much as I would love them to. It doesn't even seem like they did because a lot of people criticize the US for being jackasses, and then they say, look, we have these educational classes on how to not be a shitty human being,
yeah,
and you don't have
well
those. And I'm like,
then
no, we do. It just doesn't work.
then allow me to rephrase, my friend.
Right.
Then I would change that from all that what I just said to just philosophy. Philosophy and history. You can't teach people to be bad or good. Well, you can teach them to be bad or good for sure. More so bad. But you can aim to educate them. Everybody
Mhm.
makes their own choice, and I do agree. A class to make people good probably wouldn't work, but a class to educate people on what is good and bad and why, and to let them make their own choices, and to educate them what challenges there actually are in the real world and what kinds of people they will meet. You know, that's important. And that's something I never learned until I was thrown into the fray. You know, and then I had to like learn all that stuff by myself and figure all that stuff out by myself. And I wish I would have known more,
Hmm.
about what the real world was like before all that happened. Because it is jarring. And what I came out, my experience when I came out was I have to change, I have to improve, and I have to be a better person. But that's not always what happens. A lot of people, when met with this kind of like, this is what the real world actually is, their response is to go inward, and to say, I'm right, they're wrong.
Mhm.
And then it creates this like air of like narcissism, this little bubble of narcissism where you surround yourself by people who think similarly, and now you've created your support network out of people who are bad. And look at Budgie, for example. She says that She had to do like my idea of splitting everything into like 7 buildings or more. She had to
Mhm.
do that all of that together, art, cooking,
Mhm.
and you end up with a case like me or you or anybody where you don't want to learn these things. It's not fun. I'm being forced to learn something I don't want that's not going to be useful for me, and everybody's miserable. Teacher's miserable because he's got kids who are just goofing around because they're not passionate. Kids are miserable because they aren't passionate about it. They don't want to do it. Uh, Everybody loses. What's the point? Why do this? It's a waste of my time and your time. It's not that hard to try to reform the educational system. You know,
Mhm.
it's not that hard to make an attempt, but nobody's making an attempt because, like I said, it's easy. This is the way it's always been. Teach people philosophy. Plato's idea of the philosopher king. A king, a leader, has to be educated. In philosophy, they have to understand these humanitarian things. Otherwise, how can you expect them to lead? In a fair and just manner. Teach them basic math. And I don't know. There's probably other stuff that's in there that's pretty useful.
I hear a
Teach
lot of
them.
people say sociology and economics as a
Yeah,
good,
sure. Throw
super good
some
thing.
economics into the philosophy thing. You know, I mean,
That's where that belongs.
I mean, it's just like a catch-all, like more like this is how life really is. And
It's funny that you say no
obviously,
one's doing anything about it, but a lot of people kind of agree with you. And even my college was like that. They were no grades. It was
oh
all
yeah, I
hands
remember
on and
your
yeah,
your
yeah.
legendary college.
And it's not even just here. It's elsewhere too. Even now I hear that the normal 5 days a week thing, it's a little different.
Hmm.
And after school doesn't have to be, what was it? Not just extracurricular, but also catch up if you're fucking
Yeah,
stuck. And they changed the thing where it's not even just 5 days a week now. There's maybe a day in between where you get a fucking breather. It's like study day and you come in for help.
yay,
And so
yeah. That's
people
that's
are
good.
doing shit. It's just not big enough where it catches the attention of these really
Definitely
expensive
not big
private
enough.
schools that are being funded to be
Oh,
the way they are.
it's not even private schools though. Like German public schools. I'm gonna talk about Germany because Germany is where I went to do all this, right? Um, I don't agree with sociology. Maybe psychology, physiology,
But that's in
psychology.
I mean, that isn't that
And
in sociology? Like
I don't know what
the
sociology is.
idea that schizophrenia is a it can be a biological thing, but it changes depending on what society you come from. And the idea that a country can't survive without a smidge of ethnocentricity, because if you don't believe in the country, you're going to leave the country, and then the country cannot support itself because everyone is leaving.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's so much overlap between the subjects that
Yeah,
it's
it's
splitting hairs to say let's do one and not the other. You know what I mean?
well, I'm not saying don't do one. I'm saying
No,
put
no, no, it's
sociology
fine.
back on the table. And that's where I
Um,
learned that a lot of charities aren't actually doing anything because of the economical effects on it, like Africa and shoes. We actually just destroyed their
yeah,
economy even more. I learned that from sociology.
yeah. I mean, it's important to learn. I do agree. But yeah, I mean, sure. In Germany at least, the issue is that although you have like people who are changing now, in Germany, it's the same thing as in America. The public school system is criminally underfunded, and for a
Mm,
long time, what you had in Germany is that you had people who, like, when you take a teaching job in Germany in German schools, you were given like a government job status. You know what I mean?
wait a second. I didn't take your sociology class, Budgie. I didn't get any of that nonsense in mine.
Yeah, it might just be a country deviation where Budgie learned
Oh,
something
oh yeah,
completely different.
use the wordplay. She doesn't like. Good job.
What?
Well, please go
What?
on, please. What you were saying
Okay.
before.
Um, the what was it? You were given government status in Germany, so like when you have a government job, you get more privileges, right? Than a regular job. You get like one big thing was guaranteed like rent. not rent. What's it called? Rent is the German word for it. Rente. Guaranteed pension. Is that what it's called? Like when you're old, you get a certain amount of money.
Whatever. Given money they government gives you.
Yeah, essentially what you if you were a German public high school teacher for a long time, you were given a guaranteed security for your future, you know? No matter how crappy your job was, the government would sign a letter or stamp something and you would be fine from ages 65 and up, you know? Cuz you got all the money, everything was funded, you know. You were just like you're living off the German government, you know? And what that led to was tons and tons of people who just wanted money to become teachers, you know? And they did. They become teachers, they did, and they taught a whole generation, you know? And let me tell you, that generation did not turn out
Mm.
educated because they did not want to teach and they weren't there to teach. They were there for the money, you know? And that's what it was like in Germany. They only changed that law recently, so you can imagine that they are probably still behind with their with their forwardness in like what should be taught and what not, you know? I mean, we can get into more of the cracks and how you get exams after the holidays, or you get you get like homework over the holidays, and that's not what holidays are. You're supposed to relax, but they don't let you. They just see that you have so much time, why don't you do this.
Mm.
uh we can get into how teachers will act completely different when another teacher comes in to peer review them, and suddenly you're doing activities, and suddenly you're learning more, and suddenly he actually gives a crap. We could talk about how some people are just unqualified for the job, and it's not just an issue of needing to reform what we teach, but who we have that is teaching. We can get into all of that, but at the end of the day, what the issue is it's broken. The entire system is broken, and it's going to take a lot more than just a few people making their alternative schools to fix it. Now, what it needs is an iron fisted dictator to determine
Mhm.
exactly what can be taught and what not, and to burn
Mhm.
all the unnecessary textbooks in a giant pyre in the middle of the school. Anyways, you like my hair? It's very
Yeah,
poofy.
yeah, good job. It's
Very
not
poofy.
necessarily like in the style, but the swirls are very small, but it still looks good. So it's not like you're doing something wrong.
Oh, I'm doing it wrong? I'm
Oh my
wrong?
god.
You hate me? You hate the heck?
Beat off a
I just
plane.
ah. Anyways, I just made an impassioned speech about politics. Hitler would be jealous, but
Uh-huh.
he's not around anymore. I made sure of that. Little do you know,
Uh-huh.
I was the man who killed Hitler. But didn't Hitler kill himself? You say yes, he did.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I took up so much time talking about this because of my angriness.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no, it's fine.
did I? Is it a bother? I won't do it again if you don't want me to.
I haven't decided.
Uh huh.
Talking about education is pretty good. You don't want to be
Yeah.
here for this, but you you're scared. Well, you
You
missed the
scared?
worst part, so it's fine.
Why you scared? Oh. Honestly though, I feel like a lot of issues in this world can only be fixed if you have somebody who just permanently enforces it. Bureaucracy is the number one killer of everything.
I personally think it's a that we should mix a little bit of everything. Cause like
Yeah,
the people talk about the democratic system, and I'm like, we kind of have that too. It just isn't working.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they were so proud of their democratic system and how it balanced each other with a little bit of dictatorship and a little bit of democracy. And it's like, yeah, but that can still fall apart because it's falling apart here. Look.
It's falling apart right now. Look,
And then,
look out the
and
window.
then I think one of the things that we have in our system is something that only the French still use, and it kind of like warps the entirety of the voting process. But
You mean the
like,
French where they kill their leaders?
well, that's never mind.
Yeah, go on.
Freaking, but do not mention the age. Yeah, it's funny. I see a lot of people making the H jokes, and then the streamer has to go, like, I know you're memeing, but we're just chill here. No, no, no. And
What is
Heck
the
is
H
here.
joke?
Hey,
Is it
everybody!
the
Let's all
heck joke?
say we're the worst dictator in history is still remembered, even though there were probably some worse or even more just as bad.
Oh yeah, I mean Mao Zedong was way worse. And
We
not
we
just because he was Chinese.
isn't it funny we still have Columbus?
We still have Columbus?
Oh, not you. We, as in where I am.
Oh yeah, Columbus, the guy who pillaged and did
Yeah.
bad things to women
Uh-huh.
across the seas. That guy?
Yeah.
Well, don't you also have there's some other weird day that you guys have. What was it?
No, I
Banana
don't.
Day?
I think that's a worldwide one. Banana Day.
Banana. Yeah. All right. Where were you? Come on, keep talking. I like it when you talk. Gives my voice a chance to rest.
Yeah. What you go on for too long?
Yeah,
You don't wanna talk over me? You don't wanna
it kind of hurts. I'm sorry. I just got so into it, because you know how near and dear education is to my
how near
heart.
and dear anger is to your heart, yeah. I know.
Well, anger is just a little bit closer in the form of a tiny clot that's forming. Uh,
This growth.
yeah.
But next to that is
Um,
education.
yeah, right next to is education.
Mm.
Um, yeah, go ahead. Come on, don't be shy now.
Well, no, I think that the way to balance it all is to have a little bit of everything. But, that only works so well. It's the devil in the
I
details.
agree. It
Like,
works so well.
the it only works so well.
Uh-huh.
Freaking, because on paper, everything looks so clean, but at any turn, people can just make one policy to fuck up this thing, and then people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow the rule," and then they're not actually following the rule. Like that's one
Yeah.
thing that is gonna be really funny when I start having to seriously moderate. Because oh, this technically is within the rule you put. I'm like, yeah, but you're ignoring the very point of why the rule was
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
Get lost.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said it's easy to make attempts, but it's gonna be difficult to find what actually fits.
And people are always gonna find the way to abuse a system. Like every system can be abused, and that's kind
Of
of what it
course,
is. And
yeah.
every system got flaws. Like as much as I love certain areas and what they do better, the flaws are also very interesting.
Of course, but there's a difference in flaws, right? One
Mm.
is the student is depressed and wants to end themselves, and
Uh-huh.
one is, hey, I didn't actually get to do what I wanted, or this teacher kind of sucks.
Mm.
It's like it's huge differences, and anything to take pressures of like kids, and to instead of pressuring them needlessly to actually teach them what they need to know to be more prepared is which is better, but which is funny. I feel like you got a better education than me.
I mean,
From
it
the sounds of it.
sounds like it. I live in a very good area, all things considered. Like all
Yeah.
my teachers were very good and very helpful. They even had like after school tutor sessions where we would go to like Starbucks or with the
Oh.
trusted group, because it's always sketchy for after school interactions. It's dangerous
Yeah.
for the teacher and
Teacher's
technically
licking
the
his lips.
student if you want to be careful. But like so the
Yeah.
trusted students were like, okay, now we're gonna do this study thing at this place or that place or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I had just a bunch of good teachers. I think that my worst teachers were the boring ones. Like they weren't evil, they were just really boring.
Uh-huh.
Oh god, one of my science teachers, he was so happy in the beginning and he progressively got more and more depressed. Like he was a great teacher, but then he got so sad. We watched more
Uh-huh.
science movies. Like damn, I like the science movies, but
Are
I'm pretty
you
sure it's
okay,
because
Mr. Jefferson?
he was really sad.
what happened? Did he go through a divorce or
I don't
something?
know. Like I didn't ask, and I didn't
You
think it was
didn't
my place
try.
to ask, and he never talked
Yeah,
about it. He just looked really sad.
all the time.
Yeah,
Well,
but we got to play with
you
cockroaches, so that's cool.
yeah, sure. You okay there, Philip? Philip? Is everything we've been watching you the video has been looping, the DVD is stuck. Are you have to clean the DVD a little. David? Mr. Wilson, are you okay? Hello? Just like nothing, just a dead face. Uh, oh god.
Yeah, so through my entire high school, I saw the decline of the
Oh well, I mean
uh,
that's a different experience for sure. Um, yeah, pretty
gosh.
funny. All in all, though, I think I would have preferred seeing somebody else fall into depression and not me. You know,
hmm
uh, poor Mr. Wilson though, or whatever his name is. Hope he pulled through okay.
Yeah, yeah.
God damn, you know. Oh boy, what a sad note.
Oh, you know what's
Uh,
even worse? Not even worse, but on top of all of everything that
yeah,
I do and don't know about my teachers, I go back to my high schools or used to for some work, and I
yeah.
wasn't wearing my glasses. And so from
Oh, you
far
have
away, a
glasses?
teacher
I
came
never knew
up.
you had glasses.
I'm
I imagined you
nearsighted.
without
I'm
glasses this
nearsighted.
entire time. Oh my god,
No,
my
you
image of
knew.
you
You
has
just
been
forgot.
destroyed. How dare you?
But yeah,
But yeah,
so freaking I was wearing glasses because I'm nearsighted.
mhm,
Nearsighted. And
mhm.
I was so excited to be seeing all my old teachers again. And I call this teacher by the wrong name.
You're like Mr.
And they
Bilson.
walk away immediately.
They didn't even respond to you or what?
No, that's not my name. And then they walk away. Not even
Oh boy.
close. So not even okay. So they said it ambiguously, like not even close. And so I thought I got
Yeah,
the name right for like 2 minutes before my brain process would just happen and went,
yeah. See, that's one thing that is really fun for some school teachers, like that little bit of sass that they have, you know, with like just sassing their students when they get something wrong, like that, you know. But for me, I associate that sass with like, haha, screw you, because that's what it was in my school. But yeah, did you end up talking to him again or her?
No.
Was it like a male teacher and you're like, Jennifer, Jennifer?
Oh no, it was unfortunate. What sucks is that I'm pretty sure it's the teacher that's often compared to the more awesomer, lively teacher.
Oh
But
boy.
honestly,
And
I
did
confuse
you
them with the
call him
yes,
by the
the livelier
Oh
teacher. That
no.
was what was so bad about it because I know they were both
Okay.
sciences, but everyone prefers one class over
Oh,
the other.
oh
Even
no.
though she's like just as fun because I remember I learned about selective whatever, the whole evolution shit
Uh-huh.
because we threw colored toothpicks into the grass and then we're like,
Yeah.
okay, pick as many up as you can.
And the
And
green ones got lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was like such a succinct concept. It had nothing to do with politics or religion. It was like, these are left over, these are not. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
straightforward. It has nothing to do
That's
with anything else.
that's a really nice simple way to teach kids.
Yeah, it
That's
was
also one
good.
thing that teachers need to do, like openly share resources across countries and teaching methods, you know?
Hmm.
Uh, they're like artists can steal another artist's reference. Teachers should be able to steal each other's teaching methods. But yeah, did you did you end up talking to her again? Did you make amends?
Nope.
Nope. Well, there we go.
There's too many amends to make in that school.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Is the mural still up?
Absolutely, and I hate it.
We would you be upset if I took a picture of it?
I would use it to impale your eyeball.
I mean, God, it's fun.
It
It's.
is not
I
fun.
mean, dude,
It's
so much time has passed.
traumatizing. It
But
doesn't
it's
matter
so
how
much
much time
time.
has passed if it
But
still sucks,
we can laugh about it now,
Yeah,
right?
we can laugh without photographic proof.
But that's not like I'm gonna share the image. I just want to hang it up in my house. Well, not my house, your
Uh-huh.
house when you're not
Yeah.
looking. I don't want to
Uh-huh.
incur the wrath of the spirits by hanging it in my house. I'm not
Yep.
insane, but your house, that's free game. Yeah. You don't think that'd be fun?
No.
Oh, well, come on. Don't lie to yourself. Uh, oh yeah. What was your point before this? You were saying something. Let's go back to that.
Oh. Hmm. What was it? Gosh. Oh, what was this? It went straight into trauma.
Yeah, we just kind of skipped all the steps and went right back there.
Oh, you know what? You also didn't when were like, "Oh, talk about how horrible we were later." I got to talk a little bit about me. You didn't follow
Oh,
up.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Go
We've
ahead.
actually done this a ton of times before. We can
I
just
know, but
continue
you should
going.
still get your opportunity to speak about what a terrible person you were.
Uh huh.
Please, go ahead.
No,
Tell
I mean
me.
I spoke and then you didn't follow up with your little like
With
summary.
my
I summarized
oh
mine with not knowing stuff and not being straightforward with people and not like standing up for myself basically. It's a little smidge of
yeah.
self-respect kind of.
Yeah. And you wanted me to summarize it for you? You wanted me
No,
to
I talked
summarize my
about me.
own?
Normally people talk about themselves after asking a question where they're both gonna
Oh, so I didn't talk about myself enough.
yeah.
Well, I thought I overtook you again.
No.
Okay, well that's good. I would hate to do it this many times in one session.
You have to sparse it out. Those false sense of
Yeah,
security.
exactly. I have to lure you into thinking I actually like you, so I can smack you down a few times,
Uh-huh.
get the maximum utility out of this. See, that's one thing I learned in economics. Oh boy. But yeah, where were we? What was I saying?
School,
Uh,
education.
no,
Somehow
like
one of us
with
got better
like school,
education.
with being terrible. You said I should mention it again, right?
Oh
So
well,
I will.
like, well, mine was like standing up for learning what I actually wanted and imposing that upon the world.
Right,
So if
right,
you had
right.
a little tidbit similar in terms of theming or
Right.
relatable or
For me, I would say the thing is that what was the worst part about me in school? I think the worst part is that I let myself get dragged down. You know,
mm-hmm,
not that that's an excuse for anything, but it's like the people around me. Like I came to school and I didn't have any qualms with anybody, right? Like at
mm-hmm,
all. I was just a peace-loving kid who was like, "Let's all play together. We are one. We world united, or whatever," right?
mm-hmm,
Uh, but what the people around me did is they ostracized a lot, and then they had their cliques and they had their groups, and instead of sticking to my guns, I became like them. And
right,
then I one day the people who taught me to be that way, they kind of fizzled out, or they were still doing it, but they weren't doing it around me anymore. And then suddenly I became the person who was acting that way.
mm-hmm,
I had become the aggressor in a sense, where I would I like passing on the worst torch in history. Where I would be the one to treat people badly, and to misjudge situations, and to do all that stuff.
mm-hmm,
And then it took a while. I mean, what changed. One day I was faced with the reality of it all, and I'm like, oh, I've
mm-hmm,
been treating people badly this entire time. And well, I mean, it's not like I was unaware. I wanted to treat them badly, but then I became aware I was doing it. That I had no control over it anymore. I was just
mm-hmm.
doing it to everyone at all times, with like it's like a rampant destruction for no reason.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change that, because that's when I realized, like, that's not a life worth living. Because I'm just unhappy all the time. The people
Mm-hmm.
around me are unhappy all the time. something has to change. And then yeah, I'm not one of those people who's afraid of like uh I guess going out and seeking help, because a lot of people are, you know. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do this or that because it's embarrassing. It's like, no, what's more embarrassing is staying the way you are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's far more embarrassing, in my opinion, at least. Anyways, is that what you wanted to hear? Are you
Yeah.
satisfied now? Are you satisfied with this? The
Yeah, yeah.
character reader. Look at look at his tiny legs.
Yeah,
His
squat. Mm.
his quite like it's
He's
huge. It looks like a
like,
bit of forced
hello, trick or
perspective.
treat. Smell my feet. Give me everything to eat.
It kind of looks like an unintentional forced perspective. I think it's because of this line here. I remove it. It
Yeah,
should
but
be.
it's cute though. Like, it's not
It,
only that line, but it's also the arms.
oh, the arms as well.
Yeah, look, they have that. They have. Yeah, it didn't look. That was the opposite curve that they looked like they had for me. Especially because of the backpack straps and stuff. And also
Yeah.
the way the hood is. The hood is, it's opened up in such a way where it could suggest a 3/4 with everything that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was cute. It was really cute with the forced perspective. What? Why?
Sure, I'll return it. It's not like it matters too much. Here we go.
It
Forced
looks so
perspective.
dynamic and cute.
Look at here. It really does
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh. It's one huge eyeball.
Uh-huh.
uh, yeah, look at him. I'm terrible at designing shoes. How did this guy do it? He just kind of made pointy shoes. Well, no, not a big help really, but I guess I'll get away with the same thing if I just go.
Yeah,
If
I
this
mean, especially in comics, I don't think if it has the general shape, I think it's good. Because it's
yeah.
really easy to fuss about feet. Your feet will just get better the more you study feet. But for the sake of comics, I would just go with the shape. Like even right now, what I'm trying to do with the comic I'm working on is my shoes are silhouettes and this general shape. This is the shape of my shoes, and
Hmm.
like
Right. Right.
as long as it has that, it's good because we don't have the luxury of we have to pick our battles for comics.
Yeah.
Our 70%
Yeah.
has to be the best, that we can do for that time, and then we pay special attention to the very special panels. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I mean, I guess I underestimated how much different stuff you have to draw as a comic artist. There's no artist on the world who has to draw more than a comic artist. The comic artist just has to draw such a variety of things, you know?
Hmm. I don't like making bodacious claims like that, but it's got
Oh,
merit to
I
it.
do.
Yeah, I know.
Um, we're the kings of the world,
Because
and
that's another thing I saw a lot in
everybody should
college.
bow down.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sorry.
In
Yeah.
college, I will say that even though I, in general, had a pretty good education compared to a lot of weird things, that in specialized classes, you still had that thing where you could be in the wrong class, and you could have an art teacher who is exactly the kind of stereotypical art teacher you'd expect,
Oh
where it's
God, you mean
like
the ones at my school?
nothing but fine art is good, or nothing that is tedious and weird and modern and abstract, nothing else except that is good. And then
Yeah.
it's not even limited to that. Concept artists hating comicers hating concept artists, and there's such a divide between all the things. Even though we learn the same techniques, we think about similar stuff,
Yeah. Do
and
you
that
want to?
divide just made
Yeah.
me so angry, like watching a manga artist go downhill because they had a depressed, really loves the theme of slewers slow in their work,
Uh,
to the point where
rhymes
all
with
they
it.
do is like photography of them maybe doing it. And that was the
Mm,
best art, and that's all their portfolio was filled of. And getting their art knocked down at every step because it wasn't modern or like depressed enough, it was just
yeah.
so anger inducing.
Yeah. Do you wanna leave chat for a second and I can bring back my positivity?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we could support these people. No, don't actually leave. I don't care about that.
What?
God damn it. Look, I agree, but I also agree with
Uh-huh.
the friendly crapping on people. I mean, there's a bit of fun in it. It's not all negative. Like I'm sure there's like I agree. There's like the negative like part where it seems like we're gatekeeping certain things. Only comic artists do this. Or something. But there's also the fun part where it's like, screw you, concept artists. We hate you, comic artists. And then we have that like fun little back and forth. And then I order a hit on their leader, and then
Uh-huh.
we win permanently.
It would be cute. It's cute the same way humor is cute. Like there's jokes you can make with your friends, and then there's jokes you cannot make on stream.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I would like an itemized list of
it's
those.
basically the same thing where yeah, it's cute when you know the person. Otherwise, you're stepping into a territory where they're going to assume you're one of the hundreds of people who are doing that to them maybe every single day. Like how are
Yeah,
you going
yeah.
to display yourself as not one of those people if you sound exactly like them but you mean it
Oh, God.
lightheartedly? Which brings me back to
Um,
like that's the same problem with everything else. Like we have actual people trolling for reals, actually trying to get rises out of individuals and actually have these opinions. How are you going to distinguish yourself as a comedian
I don't
among
know.
if you
I'll
sound
figure
the
it out
same?
later. I'll figure it out later. It'll be fine, Borscht. Don't you worry your pretty
I'm
little head.
fear for everything. I fear.
It'll be fine. I'll do it until I get arrested, and I'll be like, it was all a joke all along.
That's the plan.
I don't know. You just have to get to know me, I guess. That's the only weapon.
You were gonna say you have to get to know the person and then you make the joke in a way that they'll understand. No, you're gonna make them try and
No,
understand
they
you.
they have to understand me.
You're going up to
Yeah.
someone and making a comment and you want them to do the work instead.
Well, I mean, I'm not in the sense of like me going to a random person and harassing them. I meant it more in the sense of like if I have an audience, uh, the only way I can't state every time I'm just doing this for laughs. So at some point they just have to realize.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more senior members have to coach the younger ones to enjoy this. You know, it's like the most convoluted show in the world.
I mean, that's what Toast is doing right now. Like, he made a video I would never allow to happen on stream. And the
Toast? Who the hell
comments
is
are
Toast?
filled with, oh, he's like one of the chiller. He's a trolly strategic person who has opinions kind of similar to you.
That's so vague. That's
And
like that they're a person who has opinions. It's like that doesn't tell me who they are.
well, no, it's describing someone who's basically succeeded, but is similar to you in like opinion, but not execution. Isn't that
Oh man,
telling?
is it is
And
it
so
cinnamon
they
toast
made a
10?
video that was very like jokes I wouldn't allow on stream. That to gives you context, right? And
Yeah,
so they made a video like that, and it's doing fine, I suppose. And
yeah,
in the comment sections, all like people who don't understand him are gonna totally misunderstand this entire video, and that's what the comment section was filled with. So at a
yeah.
certain point, you're right, but he's in such a position where even though he breaks TOS with he watches anime on his Twitch, for fuck's
Ah,
sake.
yes, anime. I understand anime. Wing
It's
Fong
a
anime.
reaction channel, and you're not supposed to do
Yeah.
that with things that have licenses.
Oh, that's the
You can
issue.
still fucking get it.
I assume the issue would be different.
Sure, you
Yeah.
need to get educated on the platform you're going to be streaming on.
Or I need to be popular enough that the rules don't affect me.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was leading up to. Is that here's an example of someone who can be spicy and get away with it.
Are you sending it to me?
No, I fucking told you about this before. I'm just bringing it up for stream.
Well, I mean, I get it. I understand what you mean. Um, I guess it's the age-old adage, right? If you're rich and powerful, you are untouchable, right?
Yeah, because there's not much you can do. Like let's say you have a lot, and to not park here. A person with enough money and it doesn't have a sensible, doesn't have sense of spending
Morals.
smart. No,
Oh
spending smart
yeah.
even as well. Not even just morals, but spending smart. Because, who are
It's
you harming if
it's
you're
just a
parking in a
very
private
expensive
parking spot?
parking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
an
yeah.
expensive parking ticket.
Because
Yeah,
technically you're
yeah,
not
I get it.
harming anybody by you're just using a spot you're not supposed to use because it's private property or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, or there's some stupid fire hydrant parked in front of it or something.
Well, that one, that one's a little. That one wouldn't
uh,
be in my examples.
uh, I get what you mean. Well, who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'll try and do that more in the future. You know, be more contexty because it's not like I want to be misinterpreted either. I just want to have
Mm,
fun. You know.
yeah.
So I'll do my best to watch out for it and make sure that it's at least semi clear. You know, what the hell I'm saying.
Yeah, that was the entire point of me bringing it up to you. It's a tool. Like, it's a tool to use to your
I'm a
benefit.
tool. You're a
Sure, you're
tool.
a tool.
Uh,
It's gathering data so you could figure out what to do afterwards.
yeah, yeah. I
Because
got
I
you.
already know that I'm so slow that I'm not going to get people looking for high octane content. I already know our audiences probably aren't going to unlap because I'm not a talkative, funny, haha person. I am a support class at its best. The times where I shine are where someone is bullying me.
Secretary,
Like, that's where I shine.
secretary.
That's my fucking rule on the roll.
Yeah.
And so, when I'm streaming by myself, which half the time I am, it's going to be an
Hmm.
entirely different demographic. And
Yeah.
it might be useless rating each other because the most common denominator will be art, but then after that it's going to be like, oh, she sounds depressed and she complains a lot, but this says the same
She
thing 50
complains about
times.
this one person called Schmeck. Heck was it? And she says she hates him all the time and now he's
Uh-huh.
forcing her to raid him. Get him, guys. Get him.
And then you're gonna be funny. The people who actually understand you are gonna find you funny because you're so fucking angry, and they're gonna trigger you at any point and put you down. Like it's gonna be toasty, but an entire chat room. You're gonna be like slap the heck, slap the fairy, put in bottle, throw into ocean. Yeah, it's gonna just be your
Yeah.
life now.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Um Hey, look, hero vibe gets it.
Super Russians. Oh my god. Oh, did I ever tell you how they found out about my height?
How
I
what
didn't
was it a
say a
big
word. No,
revelation?
no, no. Okay, so I did. All right, so in Toasty, I know that people were just sharing height, and someone randomly asked me. Okay, here I went so long without mentioning my height, and then suddenly someone's like, "You sound short. How tall are you?"
You
And then
sound short.
not 10 minutes later, someone
Yeah.
else who was not connected to the conversation comes in and sends me this meme that's like International Throw Short People Day. And he's like, are you short?
Are you yeah, see, you couldn't hide it, could you? You couldn't hide it.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty funny. That's so funny. That's so hilarious because it's true. You do
Oh
sound
my
short.
god.
You're a little midge. You're a little short person.
Oh yeah, that's gonna
Oh,
end well.
oh
Oh.
my god. Which is
Oh,
funny because I know people in real life who are shorter than me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
to me,
So
you
do
will
I.
always be the shortest person. You know?
We found short people shorter than me in our
Yeah, I know.
community, and they're like, "Heh heh, not as small," and I'm like, "I'm going to fucking murder you."
It's something about the combination of your high pitched voice and the tininess that you exude.
It's probably the tininess plus the rage.
Oh yeah. Ah, that's
People
the perfect combo. Yeah,
just
yeah,
want
yeah.
the rage.
See, I love this outfit over here.
Oh
But this
my god.
outfit, huh?
Deemy's like, I also know people that are shorter than Marsh, albeit they're like 7 years old.
There you go. That's your answer.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Oh, you know
Anyways,
what's
I love.
really funny?
Yeah, go ahead.
People that I'm getting from the art community come into my stream and think I'm getting bullied. The cycle
Think that
never
you're
ends.
think that you're what?
Getting too bullied.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. I hope the people from your art community have a similar reaction to, you know,
Well,
you
this
know
is
what I'm
why it's
alluding
such a
to.
non thing for me because it's been
Yeah,
prevalent all my life. It's just not a big deal. Like no one gets along. It's like whatever.
yeah, I guess.
Because
What should I
that was
put
a
on
flaw.
the?
That was
Yeah,
one
go
of my
on.
flaws. I remember now that are
What
mentionable
was?
is that I tried to make people get along before. And what I found out
Ah,
with that is that even if I can talk sense into a situation and explain it fully, and they
doesn't
understand,
mean that you'll like each other.
no, no, no. That's actually like I can explain a situation. I can explain it from people's point of view. Like the problem stems from people not being able to convey what they're actually saying to other people, and it sounds believable. And for some reason, I'm very convincing in terms of explaining stuff when I'm actually understood. But the problem with that is they think that's the resolution, where I explain something and then they each understand what went wrong, and then no one changes their behavior. And so after
Right.
that, it doesn't matter. I'm the only time there's peace is when I'm there to explain it. And then still, even then, there's a grain afterwards where it's like, well, it's still nothing's changing, so I'm still, it's gonna build up over time. I'm gonna be upset, and so now I just don't care. People don't get along. I don't really give a
It's a
crap.
null. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's a healthier attitude. It's not like it's your prerogative to make people get along.
Yeah, but like you, I used to want to shove everyone under the same house and we do the same project together. And
And look, it worked
if
for me. I'm a
I
genius.
doubt it. If Toasty came
I,
together, we would know too much
yeah,
about each other to get along properly. That's what I think.
yeah, but it works in the way it exists now.
Yeah, the informal version where we're technically a group, but we actually don't know anything about each other. Yeah, I know it's working because there's no forced. We don't have to work
Sometimes,
together. We don't have to figure out
sometimes,
we're unreliable. We don't work the
yeah,
same way. We like different things. We want to
yeah,
split off in different directions. Yeah, we don't know that yet.
George, my genius is quite frightening.
I'll agree with that. It's right.
Oh boy. Here we go. What do you think of these random circles on him? I couldn't think of
Um,
anything to bolster the design.
it's a better composition and it emphasizes the roundness. So circles are a good thing. What are the
Loopy
Vegeta
loops.
yeah, fucking guards.
Cheetah girl. Oh, you mean the these on the pads here?
No, no, the bottom. You're right. The
These?
first one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's that?
Oh, I just thought like I was looking at pictures of astronaut suits,
Mm-hmm.
and they sometimes have like the loops going from their oxygen tank on the back or whatever this is into their suit. I assume it's the oxygen tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him like these little like loopies to like put his equipment into before.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought I'm just gonna make two loops to emulate the tubes, but also to have the utility of putting stuff into, you know?
Mm.
And it just looks nice.
It makes the silhouette more like a flower, more like a bell bottom, less round, more like bell cap.
Oh, that's fine. Bells are cute.
Oh,
I
okay.
like bells. They have the same general shape as a pine cone. I love pine cones.
Alright
But
then.
only the round ones. I don't like the long pine cones. Those are weird.
Very
They're like,
specific taste in fun.
yeah. You ever seen those long pine cones? First of all, they are crumbly. Okay, crumbly pine cones. It's disgusting. I pick
Hot
one up and I
take on
expect like,
pine
yeah,
cones.
like pine cones have to be small and
Uh-huh.
firm. Okay, that's
Uh-huh.
what makes them so cute. They're like just like I
Small
like my
and
women.
fur. Uh-huh.
Look, like small pine, like the when I think pine cone, I think those little like things that split up like this, and they have this beautiful, beautiful like layering thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
where they layer on top of
Mm-hmm.
each other and they catch the light beautifully. They just make this lovely, lovely. Best I can draw a pine cone. It's because I had to look up how to draw pine cones,
I'm so
uh,
glad that you took the time.
online. Yeah, but look, isn't this a nice pine cone?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's. I'm so glad that you
but
studied it
sometimes
once and now you remember
look
the
at this.
shape. That's what
Look at
studying
this.
is. I'm so glad you're
Get this
learning
out of here.
how to study yourself.
Let's check. Let's update this. Every time, my genius is quite frightening. Achoo, achoo, achoo. God
Bless.
damn, sneezing hurts because of my coughing fits the previous like 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
my entire chest is like bruised
Uh
from
huh.
the inside. But look, this is what a pine cone should look like. And sometimes it's open and sometimes it's closed, but it's always nice and firm and small. Like these long fakers are long and
Uh
they're
huh.
crumbly and soft,
Uh
and they don't
huh.
have that nice woody texture, and they have this disgusting shape of like you know, it's like get this out of here.
I
I'm gonna
can't.
throw up, you know. And like I pick them up and it just feels wrong. This
You
feels
have
nice. This
to.
feels sturdy. This embodies a pine cone. You know, this embodies a tree. It's like
Think
yes, you know, the
you should
power it
fucking.
rises.
Yeah, the
Uh-huh.
power. Yeah, great. I think this would make a great garden scenario. You just the longest rant. The text kind of scrolls off the panel. You know, it goes off into the distance, and at the
Yeah.
end, like Marsha's falling asleep, and the fucking mushrooms are growing out of her head.
Yeah. And then the next panel is gonna be heck blasting a pile of pine cones in the tank.
Throwing
Oh
them into
boy.
the fire.
Yeah.
We all the fires are fueled with these shitty pine cones. We
Oh
burn them
boy.
all.
We burned them. Look, I love this outfit for
Yeah.
what's underneath the suit, but the suit itself needs something. It looks a little bit tacky right now. It looks like I added too many details, so I'm gonna remove this and hope it works.
I think the initials, the circle on the arms in the center was good. This the I'm, but the side ones in the center I think are too much for me. Like it starts going into the ornation that's kind of like a motherboard.
Right, right, right. Oh god, I have to erase every time. My genius is quite fit.
You should put your BS on another layer. Like I have a BS layer a lot of the time. That's where I put the
No, I'm
BS.
erasing my pinecone. I don't want that. All right, let me just
Keep the
erase it the
schmine
old-fashioned way.
schmoon.
Here's
Oh wait,
my.
we went across the entire universe of topics, but we never went into your plans for the next 2 weeks, which
Oh,
was your
right.
intention before before the anger came.
Before the anger came, just like last week, it was the anger of like British TV shows. Uh,
I
there's
wouldn't
never.
mind the TV show anger. That's my tier of shit, you know.
There's always something to be angry about. Anyways, before I get into what I plan on doing these next 2 weeks, what should I do? It's just a circle right now. What I'm imagining like maybe rubber, you know, or something. But like I'm also imagining maybe like this. This has so many nice patterns because I can tell this is supposed to be wool, and this is obviously a sheep character, and
Uh-huh.
he's like he's got all the woolly clothing on, and I mean, it's funny. This is inherently a contradiction because I do want the magic elf fairy character, but purposely stuff him into a rubber suit because he can't survive, you know, without it. So I don't know. There's that nice contrast, but what do I do with it?
You
Borscht.
could be
Borscht.
funny and go with stop signs. Not like the sign with the stop on it. I mean like the symbology of a
How
circle
about
with
this?
a yeah. Or that. You could do that too. Pleb.
This, yeah, makes it more like gives it those safety suit vibes, which
Yeah.
is very good.
There's other
Yeah.
signs of that same variation that you can look up. And then
Mm,
you can just take motifs or combine them to make a like patterns that are recognizable but a little more subtle. Because it
yeah.
almost looks also like it could be a valve that you turn. You know those locks that you turn them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
What about the belt? You got any notes for the belt, hints for the belt? Because I just make a belt because
Um.
I
When
need to fill the
I
middle space a little bit.
make this suit ornate, I leave the belt alone. When I make a suit simple, I add more to the belt as contrast. That's just a personal taste of mine. So
Hmm.
the belt might still be a belt, maybe like a giant buckle or something, or a radio, or something that Heck would use. It's gonna be decorated with the tools you put on it, right? So I don't think you need to add anything to the belt. It's gonna have plenty of shit on it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it's also gonna save me a lot of time if I just keep it simple.
Yeah, no, you're comic
All the
design is so
yeah,
funny. Doing comics reminds me so much about writing because it's all about saying things more with less, and concise. The C word, being
concise.
concise, is not something
Yeah,
I'm great with words, but maybe I'm not so bad in picture,
yeah,
or maybe I'm lying to myself,
yeah. Well, always a possibility.
and that's the reason why everything I do is overcomplicated.
Well, there we go. I'm looking at stop sign variations, and there are a few, but
Oh fuck. Yeah.
a lot of them can be interpreted as a valve as well. Like there's one that's just this, with the line in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you add like it's like a clear line, or like there you go, like this. But
Yeah,
that
yeah,
also kind of looks like a valve.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then you have triangles. You have just like different shapes, exclamation points. Obviously, you have a hand, but I'm not gonna go for that one because I don't want to draw a hand every goddamn time that I have to draw. Heck.
Yeah. Mm.
I think this works. Like just a simple line in the middle. I think it's just complicated enough, and also just simple enough that I can get away with a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
also I can just do it on the sides here, and then it'll have a nice little bumpy variation like that. Oh yeah, this looks cute. This looks great because it also looks like a tiny button, like sewn
Mm-hmm.
onto the front. And you know how much I love my imagery of hey, this
Small,
is all
big.
small, schmo big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still have to design like a weapon for Heck. I mean, I went over this, right? I just want it to be nothing special, literally just a tool, because there's too much like story stuff. I don't like those
You don't like
where
do anymore? Or Chode?
huh?
Sorry, Chode is. You don't like
Chode,
Chode
yeah.
anymore? I
Chode
swear.
is Chode is great,
Chode
design
was.
concept wise.
If you
But
don't, you know what's gonna happen if you
I
if
know
you throw away
exactly
Chode. I'm taking
I
Chode and I'll
well
never
look.
give it back. You
The thing is, I'm not gonna
tread
throw.
carefully.
See, I'm not throwing him away. I mean, I'm gifting him.
Hmm.
Think about what actual weapon design I have, and I still love Chode. You know, and if
I
you weren't around,
I
no,
what
no, I said
timestamp
what I
are we?
said.
Wait,
No, I knew names.
3 hours. Budgie, where Budgie?
I knew that naming the sword Chode at one point would come back to bite me.
I was waiting for this moment for so
Oh
long.
yeah, uh-huh.
I was
This
waiting.
entire thing was a trap, I tell you. All right, here we go.
I'm
This is
sorry.
this is
Please continue.
this is what show looked like, right? It was
Yeah,
like
I hear.
I remember the opposite semicircles or something was a big part of the design, and then the nice like almost like rainbowy hilt, and then if you had
Yeah.
the sheath on it, it would make a full circle. It was a very nicely designed thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't work with its backstory anymore. Essentially, it is just a tool for its design to me, you know. And when it becomes just a tool for its design, I could change the design to be more needle-like, so I can get into that nice like small imagery I like,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Which means that Chode either has to be gifted to another one of my characters, or
Mm-hmm.
instead of me just haphazardly reusing my own assets, why don't I just gift it to a friend, And then you can have a big chode.
Well,
I
here's
know
the
you like.
thing.
I know you love chode. Go on, say it, Marsh. Tell me.
It's good. This
Yeah,
entire highlight video is just gonna be clips of us saying,
chode. Yeah,
I'm gonna adopt the
that chodes.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about my adoption system. I shit on everything. Like that's why I can read
Huh.
I- budging the text. Because that's why I can slog through so much Meaty. Uh,
Meat.
meaty.
Meat.
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 Mediocre. 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 Don't mind me while I was.
Uh-huh.
Is that burnt toast?
Is that the smell of copper wiring?
But no,
Uh,
because it's because I look for the things that were genius and I just didn't follow through with it, or just a footnote or something, and I took
yeah.
inspiration from it and do what artists
Yeah.
do best. But
Yeah.
so what I like about Chode is that you can hide you can hide the design of Chode inside the blade. And
Oh
so while
yeah,
I think
yeah.
your sword design is really good for what it is, that kind of blade type, I forgot what it's called, but you and I looked it up one day.
It's like
It's
a
yeah.
Roman sword or
Mm-hmm.
something, like one of the
Which
short
was
ones.
a great reference to Orpheus' story back in the day when that
Yeah.
was relevant to the story.
When it was relevant, yep.
But so that visual design, you should keep that for something as a reference. But the
Yeah.
part of Chode I giggle at the most is that I want the
Oh, you mean
blade to spell Chode in magic. And I
yeah, it
want
was
it
like
to
a
wind and unwind as like
it
a
was a it was a sword that was a wire. I totally forgot about that. It
mm-hmm.
was a wire that spelled out symbols that spelled show.
Yeah. See, you forgot my
Uh,
favorite part, which obviously means it wasn't that important to you.
yeah, well, I will remember it always in the one birthday gift you drew me. You remember?
Yeah, of course. You're asking me if I remember. What do
Well,
you
yeah, you
think I
can.
am?
I gift that to you right away because look at this. I just came up with this on the fly and I already love it more than the other sword design.
Look,
Like
I
it's
think
the
keep the
yeah,
hilt. Keep the hilt and the sheath. I'll take the
sure.
blade.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll gift this sword as just a generic sword to one of my other
yeah.
characters.
I took the blade out of Tang and all and
Yeah.
left you the sheath and the hilt.
Yeah, there you go. I can work with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But look at this. I can work way more with this. It's got that lovely blend of like weaponry and nature that I love.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we went over how I want making to be in
Mm-hmm.
or just weapon making in my world. So it fits that theme that's very naturey.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the branches, because it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's very nice. And it's got that little like you can just like little strap to personalize it,
Yeet.
little grip. And then it's got the little end part. The string is optional. I just drew that into avoid
The
needle imagery.
string is optional.
Yeah. But look, yeah, unlike Chode, where the string, the wire was mandatory. Now it's optional.
Mm-hmm.
I've moved up in the world. So yeah, I think this is a much cuter weapon. And now in coherence with like the little button design, I think it'll be very cute.
Yeah. That's good design. That's
Yeah, I'm a
really good
genius. Every
design.
time my genius is quite frightening.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'll put
It's
this on a shirt.
frightening
Hey,
how
who wants
big your head swells.
Is it? I'll put this on a shirt. Who wants to buy it? Only $50 a pop.
Mm-hmm. I hope it's that exact same that JPEG right there. You
Yeah,
send that
yeah.
to the shirt
It's
company.
just that on the
Yeah.
shirt. Oh boy. Anyways, we can stop here. We've been going for like 3 hours, right?
Yeah, it's been just 10 minutes over 3 hours.
This has been successful. I quite like the new design. I like the new ears. I like the new hair. I like the new sword. It's all good. Very satisfied with today.
Wait, you want
As a
to
matter of
change to
fact,
cow ears?
yeah, I think so. It looks cuter. It gives it more of that woodland fairy
Hmm.
vibe, I think, than the
Will the
pointy ones.
ears move up and down?
Yeah, I can imagine the like perking up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I'm so excited!
Yeah.
Ah!
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But other than that, I think the downwards ears are a better like standard than the pointy ones. The pointy ones look a little bit more elfish, which is just the connotations that they will always have, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And
Because
if I
the
can just
history.
yeah, if this becomes successful enough, I can coin cow ears to be fairy and top ears to be what's it elfish. So maybe if I force that enough, I can create more of an identity for fairies. Because that's a shame about fairies. I hate how they are so um dainty and kind and stuff like that. No, fairies are mean tricksters who will kidnap your children. Get it right. And it's like, yeah, there'll be kind ones, but look at this dude. Does he look like he's kind? Does he look like, oh, look at this face?
Uh-huh.
uh, he for sure will steal your steal your child.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, thanks for popping into our beam, and next time we'll schmeen some schmoo.
Our bean
Yeah,
is what?
it's like a stream, but
Our
it's a
bean.
beam. Our beam. What?
I'm thinking of it's processing, not necessarily good or bad processing, because I'll theming is definitely one of my favorite things to do, and I would always pull it back to F art. But beans lead to that, so
I wasn't even intending for it to be this. I just threw out a word
yeah,
and
but
replaced the first letter.
see, I do like certain things
Yeah, like how
about.
our sign-off phrase was supposed to be "Thank you for nothing."
Thank you for
I still love that as a sign-off phrase. You said it the first time we did an F art recording. You're like, "Thank you for nothing." I was like, "Yep, that's it
that
right
was
there."
our mock recording. Oh my god.
So yeah, thank you for nothing and beans apparently. Our bean. Welcome to our bean and thank you for nothing. Go fuck yourself. Let's go.
You're right. Okay. Bye. Jesus.